Grandpa. From now on I will call you Grandpa, and you will call me Little Grandma, Tsunade said with a speechless face. Isn't that good? Senju Hashirama struggled. Why don't we go our separate ways? Tsunade. You actually know how to think, I really didn't expect it. Brother, don't be ashamed. Senju Tobarama said with a cold face. That is Ashura's grandmother, and there is no blood relationship, you are being driven to get up. In theory, Otsutsuki Kagaya is the mother of Otsutsuki Hagoromo and Hamura, so Indra and Ashura are grandchildren. However, Yuya and Yukin were not born by Kagaya, but were created with 10 tails combined with the blessings of the people. If they are related by blood, they are not real sons, but their surname is Otsutsuki, so Kagaya also it can be grandma. And Ashura and Indra, because they were born of Otsutsuki Hagoromo and the son of human beings, are no longer surnamed Otsutsuki, let alone related. Senju Hashirama is just the reincarnation of Ashura. What kind of relationship does it have with Kagaya? Although I don't have the memory of Ashura, I am indeed the reincarnation of someone else, so this relationship can't be counted. Senju Hashirama expressed different opinions. But as soon as he said this, the expressions of everyone on the scene became subtle. To be honest, they have never seen such a person who is so eager to be a grandson, and this person is still the strongest in an era, and is known as the existence of the god of the ninja world. Even if the other party is Otsutsuki Kagaya, is it good for you to recognize it? What is the purpose of licking like this? Etc. Thought of the benefits, and the eyes of a few smart people flashed, and they suddenly made a guess. Among them was Senju Tobarama, with black lines all over his head, and said angrily, I said brother, you talk so much, don't you want to have a closer brother relationship with Madara? Is he Senju Tobarama not smart enough and aloof, or he is not considerate and diligent enough? You Senju Hashirama have to go outside to find wild brothers. Everyone reacted to Senju Tobarama's opening. Looking at Senju Hashirama's slightly embarrassed expression, they knew that Senju Tobarama had guessed right. This god of the ninja world really wants to be a grandson in order to get closer to Uchiha Madara. Black soil. First Hokage is quite wise and foolish. Women. You were on your own. Z Yuan. I thought I wanted to have something to do with your majesty, Yuan Ting. It's a real hammer, first generation's true love for Uchiha Madara. Makoto. I really didn't expect to recognize my grandmother as a brother. Terumi Mei. Such a good logic, if anyone talks about first Hokage in the future, I will be more interested. Sam Yi. I think second Hokage also has some brother control, so I should not accept it. Tsunade. No, it will definitely not be accepted, and will try to destroy it. It has to be said that Tsunade doesn't know enough about the two grandpas. Senju Tobarama curled his lips in disdain, and said lightly, Brother, have you forgotten that Uzumaki Naruto and Uchiha Sasuke are also the reincarnation of brother Ashura Indra? From here, it can be confirmed that you are not reincarnated souls, but only chakra with Indra and Ashura in your soul, or a key to the 6 paths level. You are still you, Dara and Ashura. Otherwise, it would be impossible for Sasuke and Naruto to coexist with you. Senju Tobarama, an absolute master of teardown. When he said this, Senju Hashirama's eyes suddenly became bitter. I thought I could deepen the bond with Madara, but I didn't expect the reality to be ruthlessly punctured by my own brother. Uchiha Madara twitched her lips, and said coldly, I don't want to be brothers in my previous life with Hashi Hot Mom, this is the best situation. Hearing this, Senju Hashirama suddenly became more depressed, and felt that the air pressure was very low. Seeing this scene, Senju Tobarama became more and more upset. Neither Senju Hashirama, nor Madara's Obito to Hashirama. My big brother, only he can say, you Uchiha Madara dare to come and earn? A black light flashed in his eyes, and Senju Tobarama said, Brother, what's so good about being Ashura? I remember that Indra is the eldest son, and Ashura is the younger brother. You are obviously 1 year older than Uchiha Madara. Wouldn't you call him brother when you become Ashura? This sentence immediately made Senju Hashirama's expression unnatural. Beside him, Uchiha Madara was a little furious, and asked angrily, Hashi Hot Mom, aren't you Ashura as the elder brother, and Indra as the younger brother? This, I may have misremembered. Senju Hashirama showed embarrassment, and secretly shook his fist at Senju Tobarama to express his anger. He also wanted to deceive Uchiha Madara for a little longer, and enjoy his wonderful expression when the truth is revealed later. This fun was ruined by the nose brother. But now, Uchiha Madara is equally depressed. If he had known that Indra was Ashura's older brother, he would have to admit anything. In this way, Hashirama will have a reason to resist if he wants to call himself an older brother one day in the future. What a pity. For a moment, both of them showed expressions of remorse. Senju Tobarama watched this scene with a smile on his lips. Click. Upload a photo in the group chat. Tsunade. Catch fear of success. Ju Shingna, you are such a good granddaughter. Tsunade. Who let the grandpa make me angry, and the little grandma, huh? Yuhihong. First Hokage is a bit too much in this respect, just to get a better relationship with Uchiha Madara. Azuki Shion. I just want to say, Master Second Hokage is really amazing. One sentence makes both the god of the ninja world and the Shira of the ninja world depressed. Tsunade. The three of them together have always been like this, and I was deeply impressed when I was young. Yi Kang. You guys are chatting. I want to ask, what should we say now? Should we go back to Konoha or go to Yu Chen, or wait on the spot? Conan. I will do what Yu Chen says. At the ruins of the Valley of the End, white paper wings appeared behind Conan and flew up slowly. Everyone, I'm going back to Konoha first. After speaking, she flew into the sky and disappeared in the blink of an eye. Seeing this, Nagato controlled the animal and summoned the strange bird, and then left together. Seeing this, the others left together and returned to Konoha. At the same time, on an isolated island near the Kingdom of Waves. Boom. A stream of light fell and hit the ground heavily, causing the ground to vibrate for a while, and smoke and dust rose everywhere. After everything calmed down, a black shadow flew out of the smoke, roaring in fear. Uchiha Obito, you madman, you actually sent technique from the sky, aren't you afraid of falling directly? What responded to him was a powerful coercion, accompanied by a sneer that was so cold that the environment felt frozen. Falling. It's Black Zetsu, you guys go to die first, find the way for the father you just met. The next moment, Black Zetsu felt an irresistible suction force, and his body could not help but fly backwards. Universal pull. How could your injury recover so quickly? Black Zetsu's eyes were full of disbelief. He was fine because he summoned the white Zetsu spores buried in his body at the last moment, used white Zetsu as a meat shield for himself, and at the same time cast Mayfly technique at the moment of landing, so it was only a minor injury. But Uchiha Obito completely resisted the damage with his body. How could he recover so quickly and use the power of Rinnegan? And he was on Obito just now, knowing that the other party broke his heart by the way when he activated the Tiansong technique, so as to destroy the black spell in it. In the case of heart damage, even if he has Rinnegan and Hashirama cells, he will not recover so quickly. It doesn't make sense. Want to know? Uchiha Obito made a black stick with one hand, looked at the black Zetsu flying towards him and sneered. When you recognize your father and meet you again in the underworld, let him tell you. As he said that, Wong was about to swing the black stick to immobilize Black Zetsu. This old man who dared to use himself would definitely kill him. But before killing, you can use illusion to torture and get some useful information. For example, what Yu Chen wants to get, the wealth, knowledge, ninjutsu, and secret Kulian that Black Zetsu has accumulated over the millennium. Whatever you want, I will. Take it away. Killing the sky, Obito swung. Boom. The picture of Black Zetsu being frozen did not appear, but the black stick broke in response. Obito's pupils shrank, and a bad premonition filled his heart. But before he had time to do anything, he felt a flash of swordlight. Bark. The right arm was cut off directly and flew out. And at this moment, he finally saw the figure standing in front of Black Zetsu. Feather dust. How can it be? Meanwhile, a hernia. The great toad sage who was interviewing Jiraiya suddenly felt something, and suddenly touched a mouthful of blood. Puff. Great toad sage's aura decreased at a speed visible to the naked eye, and his body shrank by half. Shua. A lot of toads rushed in. Ext. Not me. Ninja World, Mount Myoboku, one of the 3 holy places. As the great toad sage spat out a mouthful of blood, the toads on the entire mountain were in a mess. Jiraiya was surrounded by a group of toads and took care of him in a corner outside, with a depressed expression on his face. Fukasaku and Shima are treating Great Toad Sage, who habitually chattered. I told you to take a break if you were old. Don't plan this all day long, and plan that all day. As long as we can protect ourselves, we will go to Madara. Look at this, it's okay. I was almost beaten back to my original shape. Fukasaku on the side didn't speak, but nodded in agreement. Most of the Toad clan are indifferent to the world, even a bit cynical. In fact, they are willing to have a good relationship with human beings, everyone helps each other, and they only need 1/3 of an acre of land. But their great toad sage, since he hid the sweetness more than 1,000 years ago, and even asked him about many aspects of Sage of Six Paths, he had a different idea. In my mind, this world must be controlled by humans, not toads. Do toads have so many numbers, nor do they need so many territories? Picture what? It's all right now, kick to the iron plate. Hamoin reached out to wipe off the blood from the corner of his mouth, with helplessness in his eyes. Fukasaku and Shima are not alone, representing the attitude of most of the toads, which is different from him. Sometimes when he calms down and thinks about it, he feels that what he has done is meaningless. After all, the toads and grandchildren are not up to date. Old man, which boss did you offend this time? After Shima's mouth was broken for a while, he finally started to care about Toad. Taking a deep breath, Hamoin said with lingering fear, "It's the same person as last time." Hearing this, both Shima and Fukasaku were so frightened that their hands shook, thinking that it would be good if Hamamaru really died. The last time was almost a month ago. The idea of a strong man suddenly appeared on Mount Myoboku, which came across time, and the coercion made all their toads fall to the ground directly, even raising their heads to do something. They have no doubt that this strong man can erase them all with one finger. For some reason, such a powerful existence did not attack them. They were extremely thankful, and advised Hama-wan to be more peaceful. "I never thought that this old guy was still doing tricks after being slapped. Immortal, don't you want to kill us all?" Jima yelled angrily. "Toad Sage, you really did it this time." Fukasaku took a deep breath and said, "The other party can kill you across time, and if you don't do it, it should be out of some special considerations. If you go to tease others, you are looking for death. Do you think this immortal is stupid?" Toad Wan said with a hint of depression in his tone, "I must offend that kind of strong person because I can't think about it? This time, I just saw that a ninja has the opportunity to make our Toad clan rise completely, so I asked Toad Ching to send a one-time immortal talisman to make friends. Who knew that the person who was helped by the immortal talisman was an opponent of the strong man who spanned time? Because of sensing the power I left on the immortal talisman, the attack came. In the next 10 years, Ben will obviously not be able to spy on the future, otherwise he will die directly. This time, the immortal didn't calculate too much. Hama-wan felt that he was really wronged. The investment in Jiraiya, as well as the impact on the next Destiny Child, was in vain, and even provoked a supreme powerhouse. "I was shrinking from the beginning, and the next thing I wanted to do was to continue to find benefits for myself and Toad in the world of great changes. Who knew that this time, he would take the initiative to seek abuse in front of others again? Not surprisingly, it should be that the future lines involving that supreme strong man are all in disorder, or have become the only line that has been suppressed by that strong man. Even if the ability to predict the future is still usable, this immortal will never use it again. This time, it is the final warning." Thinking of those eyes that contained supreme majesty, Tamamaru shuddered. After thinking for a moment, he took out a talisman from behind and handed it to Fukasaku, saying, "Give it to little Jiraiya, and ask him to give it to 5th Hokage." "I'm going to risk everything this time," Jima said in surprise. "This talisman paper is nothing else, it is really a fairy talisman, a secret treasure refined by an expert, with the ability to absorb natural energy independently, and can easily heal physical injuries below the 6 paths level, as well as most of the spiritual wounds. The most important thing is that it can be recycled, rather than a one-time consumption item, and it can be used as a power's inheritance and reinsurance. Toad Sage wants to send this thing out, it is definitely a big deal. If you don't hand over this thing, I'm afraid I will be liquidated in the future." Hama-wan closed his eyes with an expression of resignation. Cause and effect, cause and effect, cause and effect, and cause and effect. That supremely strong man could easily erase it, but he didn't do that, obviously not changing the cause and effect. Before the future comes, he still has a glimmer of life, and he can perform well if he can express himself. Since the problem this time is a one-time immortal talisman, he will send it permanently. Hope. This disaster can be survived. Zhao Yuchen was not clear about what happened at Mount Myoboku. At this time, he casually took Kamui from Uchiha Obito's right palm, and then cast a fire to completely destroy his arm. Finally, he took out a test tube from the forbidden space, put the eyeball in it and put it back. After doing all this, he turned to Uchiha Obito who was covering his wound, and said again with a smile, "We have met, how are you going to kill me?" Uchiha Obito was silent, his face was pale and gloomy, and Rinnegan in his left eye showed despair and incomprehension. "How did you find me?" This place is the location he selected in advance after predicting the future. No one came, far away from the 5 great nations and the 5 great hidden villages, far enough away from the Valley of the End. The most important thing, and what reassures him the most, is that this place has a natural magnetic field, which can form a phantom barrier that isolates perception after being arranged in advance. In other words, ordinary people can't come here, and they will get lost in the natural maze when they come here. But now, Yu Chen is chasing after him openly. "I don't like you, I don't want to talk nonsense with you. You can die with unwillingness and incomprehension." Feather raised one hand and used Tsukuyomi through the sky eye. If you want to rank the haters in the ninja world, Uchiha Obito, Uchiha Itachi, Sarutobi Hiruzen, Shimura Danzo, and Orochimaru are definitely the top 5. As for who is number 1, it can only be that Sarutobi Hiruzen is slightly inferior to the other 4. Danzo didn't do it for the sake of power, Orochimaru didn't have to wash for human experiments, Uchiha Madara killed parents, old and weak women and children, and didn't have to wash, Uchiha Obito, on the basis of overlapping with Uchiha Itachi, also killed Kukina and Naruto's tragic life. No matter how many difficulties there are, they are all properly bad. For these 5 people, he was quick to deal with them. I can't be bothered to explain the huge Tensigan thing. Obito can't be found for the time being if he leaves by means of space transfer. But he chose the technique sent by heaven. The speed of light moves really fast, but chakra will leave a trail. The giant Tensigan on the moon can't pierce through the barrier, but can follow the trajectory to find the location where Obito last disappeared. At this time, he came here in person, and after entering the enchantment, he sensed the flying thunder god imprint left on Black Zetsu in advance. How could he not find anyone? Boom. The reality is only a moment, but Obito was tortured by 10 tortures in the Tsukuyomi space for 7 days and 7 nights, directly collapsed, and fell to his knees. Yu Chen came to him in an instant, and decisively stretched out his hand to grab Rinnegan. Bah. There is an eye to hand. The intense pain made Uchiha Obito barely regain a trace of will. He wanted to do something, but found that he couldn't seem to do anything. Rinnegan was taken away, he couldn't perform Rinnegan's exclusive ninjutsu, his right eye was transplanted from Uchiha Fugaku's Mangekyo Sharingan, which was still in the advanced stage and could not be used, and his right arm was chopped off, so he didn't have Kamui to escape, and he didn't have wood style. Unable to use ninjutsu. Coupled with the strong mental damage caused by Tsukuyomi, he can't do anything now. In the next life, don't let a good person not do it, because you will be a beast. He also cancelled Uchiha Fugaku's Mangekyo Sharingan from Obito's right eye, and Yu Chen directly threw a special fireball that was blessed with light escape by Scorch style. Wrapped in the flame steam, Uchiha Obito instantly turned into a mummy, and when his soul entered the Pure Land, due to the influence of the power of light escape, it was directly obliterated by the power of the underworld. Uchiha Obito, the ghost, the real death. The moment Obito disappeared, Yu Chen felt a gaze, and the lines between his brows flashed. Sage of 6 Paths, in Sutsuki Hagoromo. Inside the Pure Land, a spirit body holding a tin staff and wearing a Guyu robe floated in midair and suddenly opened its eyes. Those are a pair of eyes with circles of color, containing supreme mighty power, making people want to sink after looking at them. This is a pair of Rinnegans, who see through the world and know everything, but at this moment they are suspicious. What happened? The Pure Land is a special world he opened up in Wangchen with his own power, and it is specially used to intercept those powerful souls, as long as the other party has chakra. When necessary, he can order these souls to fight for him, or even resurrect them to stir up trouble in the present world, which belongs to his dual control over the present world and the underworld. In the past, he was in a deep sleep and didn't care about most souls. The Pure Land has its own operating rules and will accept qualified souls on its own. But for some special souls, such as chakra with special nature, blood succession limit, blood succession elimination, or people whose chakra volume has reached cage level, and their spiritual power has broken through a certain critical line, they will pay special attention to the same. Another example is the reincarnation of chakra with Indra and Ashura, or the person with the power of 6 paths in the chakra attribute, he will pay special attention from time to time. Since he is in the Pure Land, if he wants to pay attention all the time, he must have enough experience. As for Uchiha Obito, he has paid attention to him since he became a cage level. After transplanting Rinnegan, he paid special attention to it, and even planned to guide this generation of Ashura's reincarnation to attack him if necessary. The ninja world needs to be guided by Ashura to a bright future. But just now, he felt that Uchiha Obito was killed and his soul was about to enter. This made him extremely surprised, because with Uchiha Obito's current strength, it was not easy to kill. And among the people he knows to have this level of strength, no one seems to be able to shoot Uchiha Obito. But even though he was puzzled, it also saved him a little bit of energy, and he got an Obito soul for nothing. But immediately after, he felt Uchiha Obito's soul aura completely disappeared. It's not a reincarnation like Namikaze Minato, but a real sense of soul flying away. Who has such means and hates Uchiha Obito so much? Strange, let me find out. Otsutsuki Hagoromo runs chakra, eyes fall to the place where Uchiha Obito's soul disappears, and descends to the place of birth and death along the remaining breath and chakra. The next moment, two figures appeared in front of him. One of them is completely black, with golden pupils, giving people a strange feeling. The other is wearing a very charming special black robe, lingering in the air, with a detached temperament and restrained momentum, but it is like a monstrous power hidden under the surface of a calm sea. A white cloth was wrapped around his eyes, covering his eyes, making it impossible to see through. But Otsutsuki Hagoromo has a familiar smell to it. But what attracted him the most was the peculiar line between the man's eyebrows. It appears to be an eye. Can swallow my eyes. There are Mangekyo Sharingan fluctuations, so complex and numerous. Who is this person? Alarm bells rang in Otsutsuki Hagoromo's heart. To put it simply, in the ninja world dominated by his sage of six paths, such a crude person is not allowed to appear. At least, such an existence should not appear without his knowledge. I want to come, it's Tensigan. Shocked, Otsutsuki Hagoromo finally remembered where that sense of familiarity came from. That's what Hamura felt when he awakened Tensigan during the battle with his help, Tien. When he and Otsutsuki Hamura teamed up to seal his mother Kagaya, the situation was not good. After several months of war, except for the Taboo continent, all other continents were smashed by them. And he and Hamura were born because of the power of 10 tails and the blessings of the ninja people. They are not afraid of the power of 10 tails and have local blessings, plus the power of sage art, and the treasure of Hamamaru, they can barely compete. It wasn't until a battle summary that Otsutsuki Hamura turned on Tensigan, which has the same power as his Rinnegan, and even turned on chakra mode, and his combat power was even stronger, before turning the situation back. But even so, he and Hamura can only seal his mother Kagaya, and taking away 10 tails can't cause real harm to her. It was also at that time that they realized that they were different from ordinary humans and must have a special identity. In order to know this, and also to monitor and take care of his mother, Hamura took his immediate family to the moon after leaving some blood in the ninja world. And he stayed behind in the ninja world, guarding and guiding behind, and also a collector of information, trying to know his mother's past. But Kagaya was very disappointed with them and never revealed any useful information. Knowing that Hamura's strength is improving, Tensigan captures special information. Words such as Otsutsuki, Starry Sky Race, and Cosmic Battlefield came into their minds. After hundreds of years of discussion, they finally decided that Hamura would cross the void and starry sky to explore and learn about Otsutsuki. And he, Otsutsuki Hagoromo, stays on this planet to protect the ninja world, open up a pure land and gather the souls of powerful ninjas for emergencies. As for the fateful entanglement between Indra and Ashura, it is indeed that he hopes to bring peace to the world as much as possible in order to obtain a stable rear. If the ninja world is stable, he can also go to Otsutsuki Hamura to explore the secrets of Otsutsuki. Unexpectedly, after thousands of years, he would feel the fluctuation of Tensigan again, and it still appeared on a complete stranger. Could it be that someone from Otsutsuki? There is also this group of energy bodies. Otsutsuki Hamura cast his gaze down to Black Zetsu. For some reason, he always felt that this thing was somewhat familiar. It seems that he can be sure that he has never seen this guy before. Why is this? Moreover, this black guy gave him a dangerous feeling, as if he would bring bad things. This bad thing specifically refers to the impact on himself, which is the special sixth sense he possessed after awakening Rinnegan. Sage of Six Paths. While Otsutsuki Hagoromo was analyzing, a voice suddenly came to my ears. He instinctively looked at the man who was awakening Tensigan, and found that he was also looking at him. That's right, although the other party has no eyes, he can feel that the other party is looking at him and following Huang Quan. Who are you? Otsutsuki Hagoromo asked. You will know later. Zhao Yuchen smiled lightly. You can't just come up and say, I am your future father in name. It doesn't seem to be impossible, but it's a bit pervert. Don't play with Sage of Six Paths like you do with Black Zetsu. Feeling the power that was about to disappear, he decided to cut short. My position with you is not considered a confrontation, as long as you continue to gather souls in your fighters. It won't be long before we meet again and I'm looking forward to our new relationship. After finishing speaking, Yu Chen restrained chakra and stopped operating the Sky Eye. He is not a real Six Paths class yet, and it is very difficult for him to forcibly spy on the color of the netherworld with a mortal body, even if he is outputting power in the direction of Otsutsuki Hagoromo. But once he fully awakens Tensigan, it will be easy to meet Otsutsuki Hamura. Six Paths level strength, already a land god. Of course, it would be easy for him to completely destroy Obito's track. So the next moment, Otsutsuki Hamura found that the medium had disappeared, so he had no choice but to look away. When we meet again, new relationship, is he implying something? And that bunch of BL*CKM*N, could it be him? Otsutsuki Kagaya couldn't help but think of Indra, who ran away from home after he handed over Ninzong to Ashura. When he came back, Indra was blackened far beyond his imagination, and obtained 6 paths level yin power, which made Mangekyo Sharingan powerful and able to use the full body of Susanoo. Of course, with his help, the Battle of Brothers is not won by Ashura. Indra then left again and disappeared until he was dying. At that time, Indra was very old, and seemed to be suffering from some kind of calculation, and he was desperately unable to reveal the news. At that time, he became clear that there was still darkness in the ninja world that he didn't even know about. It seems that I can't sleep anymore. Sage of 6 Paths pondered for a moment, and used all means to contact his old friend, Hama-wan. On Mount Myoboku, Hamamaru, who had finally recovered from his injuries, was about to enter a deep sleep state to recover his vitality, when he suddenly felt a familiar chakra wave. Hagoromo? Hama-wan raised his hand. The next moment, the figure of Sage of 6 Paths appeared. Yuya. I haven't seen you in 100 years. Why are you looking for me? Hama-wan cut to the chase. Jiraiya, who had just been brought into the house by Fukasaku, suddenly crashed. If he didn't know, but now Konoha has collected a lot of information. Feather, he remembered, seemed to be the name of the Sage of 6 Paths. He raised his head subconsciously, and it was good to find that the other party was also with him. He was familiar with those eyes. Rinnegan, you really are the Sage of 6 Paths. Hearing this, Otsutsuki Hamura wondered, young man, you seem to know my famous minister? Yes. Being stared at by Sage of 6 Paths with Rinnegan, Jiraiya nodded subconsciously with a feeling of being seen through. Where did you know my name? Otsutsuki Hamura asked curiously. The ancient information circulated in the ninja world was actually recorded by Ninzong, and even Ninzong never recorded his name, and it was all referred to as Sage of 6 Paths. The only people who know his name are his younger brother Otsutsuki Hamura, the big toad Hamura in front of him, his wife and 2 sons Indra and Ashura. Apart from these, even the White Snake Immortal of Ryuchi Cave and the Katsuyu Immortal of Shibone Forest call him Sage of 6 Paths, not by name. Of course, the descendants of the 2 sons may have heard about it from their ancestors, but they generally avoid it when recording, and the straight walk is also referred to as Sage of 6 Paths. And time can cover up everything, especially some information that needs to be spread by word of mouth or paper and pen. Even ninja is almost unknown, only recorded in some ancient books, not to mention his real name of Sage of 6 Paths. This. Jiraiya subconsciously wanted to hide it, after all, he heard the news from the village. But looking into the eyes of Otsutsuki Hagoromo, he subconsciously felt that this was nothing, because Tsunade and the others never shy away from others when discussing. Even people from other villages such as Terumi-mei and Samui could listen. This should not be information that needs to be kept secret. So he opened his mouth and replied, at this time we Konoha are well known. The name of Sage of 6 Paths is Otsutsuki Hagoromo, and he has a younger brother named Otsutsuki Hamura who was born by Nanichi. Both were created by Otsutsuki Kagaya with the power of 10 tails combined with the blessings of the ninja people. As soon as this remark came out, both Otsutsuki Hagoromo and Hamamaru's expressions changed. Saying someone knows the name Otsutsuki Hagoromo is difficult, but there is a way. It is not impossible to even know the name Otsutsuki Hamura, as recorded by the Hyuga clan. But knowing the information of the 2 mothers, and knowing their names clearly, this matter is unusual. What did you say? Otsutsuki Hagoromo winked at Tamamaru. You think I'm a talkative person? Tamamaru looked at Kaido. Then do you know who passed down the message? Asked Otsutsuki Hagoromo. I feel like I know it. Hamoan said that I was just an ordinary toad. Haven't you read the corresponding future and information? Yuya said that I believe you. But his performance made Hama-wan recall the bad encounters and memories during this period. I won't predict the future, and I won't know in the future, Toad said angrily. Sage of 6 Paths. Do you know how Konoha knew my mother's name? Otsutsuki Hagoromo asked. A strong light flashed in Rinnegan. Jiraiya still felt that there was no need to hide this. After all, as long as he went to Konoha to investigate, he could find out, so he replied without defense. Because our Hokage assistant Yu Chen, he knows the news about Otsutsuki Kagaya, and he also knows that he is from the cosmic race. Otsutsuki came to this planet to plant trees, 10 tails. As soon as this remark came out, the eyes of Otsutsuki Hagoromo and Great Toad Sage changed again. Since Otsutsuki Kagaya kept silent, they only knew that Kagaya came from outside the sky, that is, outside this planet, and they didn't know anything else. But from what Jiraiya said, the Hokage assistant named Yu Chen clearly knew the whole Otsutsuki. Words such as the overlord of the universe and the task of planting trees are quite targeted. Assistant Hokage, is that him? Sage of Six Paths thought of the person who looked at each other, with himself across the world of Wangchen not long ago, with a white cloth in front of him. Great Toad Sage thought of those eyes that looked at him after a while, and his whole body trembled subconsciously. He also knows Sage of Six Paths that you are still alive, and using the Pure Land is the lifeline that you opened up for people with chakra. Jiraiya offered to Sage of Six Paths. Know me so well, and also have Tensigan. Sage of Six Paths' expression became serious. He was thinking, could this Yu Chen be of the same race as Kagaya, and come from the cosmic overlord Otsutsuki? Speaking of which, I did feel the same chakra fluctuations in him, it was Otsutsuki's force. So what is his purpose for coming to this planet? With such strength, why did he assist Konoha but Hokage? What is his relationship with his mother? Why is the identity worth looking forward to when we meet next time? For a while, Otsutsuki Hagoromo had too many doubts in his mind. Unfortunately, Jiraiya couldn't give him an answer to these questions. And now, he couldn't see Yu Chen either. Thinking of this, he looked at Hamo Wan and said, "Old friend, I'm not joking with you. Do you know Yu Chen's identity?" "I don't know." Hamoan shook his head decisively. In the future he has seen, there has never been this person named Yu Chen. But the so-called Otsutsuki, who has a figure passing by, will indeed disturb the situation in the future. There are only two explanations for this situation. One is that the opponent is not strong enough and has little impact on the world. Another situation is that the strength is strong, and it is not him who can spy on it. Combined with what Jiraiya said, it is definitely not the former case, so it can only be the latter case. In this way, he met the owner of those eyes. Thinking of this, Hamaru thinks that Jiraiya should give Yu Chen the immortal talisman instead. He didn't dare to investigate Yu Chen before, so he could only count Konoha by brushing aside, so he knew the relationship between Hokage and him was simulated, so he planned to take a detour. But now that they have found Allah, of course they have to curry favor with themselves. But Otsutsuki Hagoromo is here, so it's not suitable to say these things for now. Thinking of this, Hama Wan decided to issue an order to evict the guest. "This is," Otsutsuki Hagoromo asked. "Can you take a look at this Yu Chen, just to know if he is Otsutsuki?" "What did you say?" 3 question marks appeared on Hamawan's head. To take the initiative to count Yu Chen, that is to take the initiative to count that strong man. Accidentally calculated, it caused the entire Mount Myoboku to be coerced once, and he vomited blood not long ago. If he took the initiative to calculate this, a palm might fall from the sky below and wipe out the entire Mount Myoboku. This Otsutsuki Hagoromo is so heartbreaking. Roll. The sound of the urn resounded through this space. Otsutsuki Hagoromo instinctively raised his tin rod to form a barrier around his body, and found that the surrounding space had shifted, and he had returned to the Pure Land. At the same time, it was accompanied by the sound of Hama Wan's exasperation. "You want to die yourself, don't bring us toads. I can only tell you that that strong man has no malice towards the ninja world, so don't provoke him." Hearing this, Sutsuki Yuya couldn't help but fell silent. Reason told him that Hama Wan's suggestion was correct. But Ha Toma Wan's performance made him even more curious to explore. Use as a backup. Otsutsuki Hagoromo thought secretly. Meanwhile, Tamamaru of Mount Myoboku Yamanaka breathed a sigh of relief. As the king of Go Wang, he would never take the initiative to touch Yu Chen's red line. "Little Jiraiya, you send this immortal talisman to that Hokage assistant Yu Chen." Tamamaru handed the immortal talisman to Jiraiya, not even maintaining the usual pretentiousness. Jiraiya's back is against Konoha, and Konoha's back is against Yu Chen, the supreme powerhouse. He will never offend. Yes. Jiraiya didn't think too much about it, and took up the task. But at this time, Yu Chen didn't return to Konoha immediately, but took out Rinnegan. He really wanted to verify one of his guesses, that is, whether the Sky Eye could merge with Rinnegan. Although Rinnegan's abilities overlap with Tensagan's in many ways, there are also special ones. If fusion is possible, then he is Mangekyo Sharingan, Rinnegan, White Eyes and Tensagan all rolled into one. This is more powerful than any Otsutsuki, but with this attempt, something went wrong immediately. When he operated chakra and tried to let the Sky Eye swallow Rinnegan's power, his consciousness suddenly came to a vast starry sky, and a huge, indescribably stalwart figure appeared in front of him. The other party lowered his gaze, and the incomparable threat came. He only felt that he might die in an instant. At this moment, the diary burst out, and a light curtain appeared to protect him. The boundless pressure dissipated immediately, and he also guessed the other party's identity. Yaosho actually saw Otsutsuki Shibahu. "Misty Grass, what are you doing?" "Otsutsuki Shibai. How did Yu Chen see him?" "No. How could Yu Chen see it?" In the first ball space, Otsutsuki Kagaya lost his composure again. The veins on both sides of the white eyes popped up, and the pupils suddenly shrank. The name Otsutsuki Shibai, as long as there is no one in the Otsutsuki tribe does not know it. In terms of personality, it is equal to the Otsutsuki god who founded the Otsutsuki family, and is the second known Otsutsuki who became a god by swallowing Dan, giving Otsutsuki members a boost. In terms of merit, the means by which he created the magical arts to enrich the Otsutsuki family has become the guarantee for Datongshu to dominate the universe for thousands of years. In terms of status, it is the myth of the living person of Otsutsuki today. It can be said that it is the person who implements the will, and it is the belief of the family. Even if Kagaya did something against the clan rules, it was still a status struggle between the clan and the branch house. She remains in awe of the being who, so to speak, gave the Otsutsuki a second life. Wanting to meet this existence is a qualification that even the best members of the Otsutsuki family, and even many members of the main family, do not have the qualifications. The most important point, which is also mentioned by Yu Chen in the diary, is that Otsutsuki Shibahu has transcended this dimension, leaving only the body in the ancestral land of the Otsutsuki clan. In other words, Otsutsuki Shibai is no longer in this world. And now, Yu Chen unexpectedly saw him. How could she not be surprised? At the same time, she was still afraid that Otsutsuki Shiju would attack Yu Chen. This fear made her realize that she had really fallen for Yu Chen. Don't worry. Otsutsuki Kagaya instinctively clenched his hands. And Otsutsuki Kagaya is not a person. Otsutsuki Shibai. Hinata and Zayuan got up from the bed at the same time, their eyes full of fear. The existence beyond the dimension suddenly came to see Yu Chen, and it was also from the Otsutsuki family, so the person who came here was probably not kind. How to do? Ino and Shanglin, who were chatting, were anxious like ants on a hot pot. Conan instinctively started to fly towards the country of waves without any hesitation. The sons and daughters of Maue Shian are all ready to fight, and everyone is involved in the group chat at the same time. Black soil. Is this Otsutsuki Shibai, the Otsutsuki Shibai I know? Anko. That Yu Chen said that the existence that has transcended the dimension should not be in this world. Terumi Mei. Those who come are not kind, and those who are kind don't come. At Tien, prepare a Suzaku and take Zhang and Shanglin to go if the situation is not right. Ying masters the secret art of anger. As long as he is given time to accumulate natural energy, the damage he suffers in an instant is comparable to Uchiha Madara and Senju Hashirama's full-strength blow. He is the most well-deserved number one in the ninja world besides Yu Chen. Might be of some use? At least it's better than doing nothing. But Uzumaki, of course the situation, might be able to heal you. At this moment, Terumi Mei tried her best to keep calm and give the most suitable suggestion. Makoto. I'm going to the land of waves now. Ju Shingna. I will go too. Even if I die, I will stay by Chen's side. At Tien, give me one more Suzaku. If something really happens, I'll go too. Karama Yakumo. No need to look for Tianshin. I will prepare a super large and fastest Suzaku, and anyone who wants to go can go together. Yu Rihong. Even if something happens, I will stand by Yu Chen's side. Samui. Calm down. Shit, you can't calm down at all. Take me with you. Samui. At Kagaya. How did this Otsutsuki Shibahu appear? Kagaya. Concubine. I don't know much more than you, and I am more shocked than you now. If you really can do it, at Conan let that Uzumaki Nagato prepare, and I will forcefully recover. Women. You can forcibly revive. Kagaya. Originally it was not possible, but after Gedo statue was taken away by Uchiha Madara, he could actually be revived with Black Zetsu, but he has not done so. Apparently he wanted me to be revived with the strongest posture, and I am also happy in this way. Samui. For Black Zetsu, life and death are uncertain now, and he is still alive by Yu Chen's side. How to cooperate with your resurrection? Kagaya. Don't worry, listen to me. Kagaya. I can indeed be resurrected now. That is because I have recovered a bit of my strength by relying on the chakra reward from the diary, but if I do it forcefully, I need someone from Rinnegan to act as an intermediary, and it will reduce my physical fitness. Kagaya. In other words, if I forcibly revive, Uzumaki Nagato will die, and my physique will return to the state before I devoured 10 tails, unless Black Zetsu helps me. Do you understand? Understood. The girls are not stupid, they understand everything. If Kagaya wants to be resurrected, the prerequisite is that Gedo statue, 10 tails body, is summoned away, so that she has the medium to seal immediately, and then there are 3 sets of plans. The first plan is the best plan, and it is also the plan that Black Zetsu is currently operating. It wants Uchiha Madara to collect tailed beasts, make 10 tails become a sacred tree again, and then let Uchiha Madara become 10 Tails Jinchuriki and revive Kagaya. Then, once Yoruichi is revived, he can almost have the peak strength before being sealed, and be invincible in the world. The second plan is to use the plan. If it is really difficult to collect tailed beasts, it can be resurrected in front of you with the help of the connection between Rinnegan and Geto statue, but it will require Yoruichi to find the tailed beasts to devour them. This process will not be easy, even if Kagaya has blood following the snare. Turn on Might Guy in 8 inner gates, enough for her to drink a jug. The third set of plans is a plan that can only be used after Kagaya has recovered some of his strength. It also requires Geto statue to be removed by summoning Rinnegan as a medium, and many sacrifices. It is not necessary and impossible to make this choice. The original Kagaya perhaps never thought he would make this choice. But now, because of Yu Chen, she had such an idea. For a time, all the girls felt completely moved. Under the influence of the diary, in just a short period of time, the arrogant Kagaya-ji, who once regarded human beings as inferior creatures, has undergone such a transformation. Makoto. After this incident, you are a sister. Ju Zuna. I approve of you. Hinata, Sister Kagaya, please. Conan. I will come back immediately and inform Nagato. As long as Yu Chen is still alive, Nagato can be resurrected in life and death. But if Yu Chen is lost, Nagato may not be able to revive it, and even many things will change. Which is more important, she knows very well. Kirima Yakumo. At Kushina at Makoto, you two should rush over as quickly as possible. If your husband's life is in danger, it's good to get a piece of leftover flesh and blood, at least it can be him. Ju Zuna. Understood. All the girls became nervous. Swish. Conan turned into a streamer and landed in front of Nagato, ready to get straight to the point. But just as she opened her mouth, she discovered that Yu Chen's diary had been updated. XXX. Diary. Cowhide. What Otsutsuki Shibai. What Otsutsuki is now the closest to the existence of God, already a super-dimensional existence. It is not worthy of carrying shoes for XXX. Diary. And it is determined every minute. Otsutsuki Shibai, an old bastard, actually laid the groundwork in the divine technique. When Otsutsuki masters the divine technique and activates Rinnegan or Tensigan, he will extract the partial calendar area of the day. If there are Tensigan and Rinnegan Sharingan tribesmen, they will use magic to imprint their soul wedges, so that they can be used as nourishment for resurrection at any time. A pretty guy like me who is about to have Tensigan, Rinnegan pupil technique, Sharingan pupil technique and White Eye ability, after learning Sky Eye, it's no wonder he doesn't get his attention. Should it be said that the Otsutsuki clan is exploited layer by layer, with distinct statuses of the main family, and the branch house? I am not surprised that he would do such a thing. Shenshu is so generously provided for the family to learn. I thought there was a strange thing in the Otsutsuki family. Leave such a backhand. This Otsutsuki Shibahu is also considered a talent. In case of life and death in the detached world, there is still a chance to be reborn. But it's wrong for you to attack me. XXX. Diary. Hi. Come in. I will first integrate the Rinnegan and comprehend 2 Mangekyo Sharingan. Otsutsuki. Wait for me. Speechless, capitalized speechless. A black line appeared on the foreheads of all the girls. Of course, Moore is still greatly relieved and shocked at the same time. They are not stupid, although XXX. Diary is coded, but combined with the diary, it can be guessed. Yu Chen said that the probability is from the diary. Only this is beyond their comprehension, and can give all kinds of extraordinary rewards. Even Kagaya can feel the life and death crisis of the magic weapon, so it has enough power to protect Yu Chen, and let Yu Chen flatter it. In other words, Yu Chen was indeed in danger, but was easily saved by the diary. Then Otsutsuki Shibahu did make a move, but did not cause substantial damage to Yu Chen. It's a good thing. No, it's a great thing. Fragrant phosphorus, diary cowhide, broken sound. Sam Yi. I knew that with the diary. How could something happen to Yu Chen? It made you calm down. Female. By Wooden Golem. Can you give me some face for Cloud Shinobi Village? Samui. Who doesn't know that our Cloud Shinobi Village started from Raikage, and we are notoriously shameless, pretending to be someone. By Wooden Golem. Are you, Yu Chen, okay, crazy? Puff. All the girls laughed out loud. Everyone was terrified just now, and suddenly relaxed. It is really normal to have this behavior. This woman, Samuel, was clearly enlivening the atmosphere. Anko. I don't know if Samuel is crazy or not, but I am really happy and crazy. Female. Plus, Ju Zuna. So, we are all nervous for nothing. Makoto. It's better to be nervous than to be busy. Shanglin. Well, at least once this incident happened, Everyone knew that everyone was on their own. By wooden golem, indeed. Samui, by wooden golem. I mean you are all your own except me. Shizune. Tisk tisk tisk, let's take it as a slip of the tongue. Makoto. If you want me to say, this matter has to be a compliment to Sister Kaguya's performance, and they all plan to sacrifice their immortal head for Yu-Chen. Hinata. Sister Kaguya, I approve of you. Terumi Mei. In this wave, Sister Kaguya is indeed the MVP. Black Soil. But I think it's Sister Nan, who values her companions the most, but went directly to persuade Uzumaki Nagato to die. Conan. Conan, what can I do for you? Uzumaki Nagato frowned when he saw that Conan had been silent since he arrived. I want to ask, can you still sense Uchiha Obito's position through Rinnegan? Conan asked seriously. It turns out that you were worried about the safety of your brother-in-law. Uzumaki Nagato showed a clear look and smiled. I can't sense Rinnegan, he should be in a sister, but don't worry, with the strength of brother-in-law, as long as he is not caught as for calculations, although the ninja world is huge, he can go there. Uchiha Obito is just a grasshopper after autumn, and can't make any waves. Conan. Good guy. Uzumaki Nagato's speech is better and better, since reading Yu Chen's Shiji and Romance of the Three Kingdoms. If you have any news, remember to contact me as soon as possible, Conan said seriously. Sure. Uzumaki Nagato nodded. Then I'll go to Yu Chen's house and wait for the news. Conan nodded and dispersed into pieces of paper. Uzumaki Nagato looked at this scene and couldn't help showing serious thinking. Conan has a deep-rooted love for his brother-in-law, and he will definitely enter the harem of his brother-in-law in the future. As a family member, I have to support him and increase the right to speak. On the matter of world government, I can contribute as much as possible. I want to seize the opportunity to enter some emerging sectors. Nagato looked very serious. After reading so many historical stories, he is no longer a novice in political struggle. Maybe Yu Chen has a way to suppress the harem, but as Conan's natal family, he must do something. The cabin is not clear about Uzumaki Nagato's thoughts. After covering up the truth, she breathed a sigh of relief and was ready to speak in the group chat. But when I opened it, I found that everyone was blowing Kaguya-ji. Conan. Yu Chen is my everything, I can abandon everything for him, what is FAS settlement? Nagato, Yahiko, forgive me, I'm just talking to the group. Fragrant phosphorus. Alright, as expected of Sister Nan. Terumi Mei. This wave of Conan can abandon ideals and principles for Yu Chen. Makoto. We all know that I don't like Kaguya very much, but this time she is risking losing her immortal body and possibly getting old in the future, so I stand by him. Samui. I stand at Conan. For a while, all the girls expressed their opinions one after another, and in the end it was a tie. Kaguya. I don't care about these things. I just want to say that we will all be sisters in the future. I fully approve of you and would like to call you sisters. Conan. What prompted you to make such a decision? Kaguya. Diary. Even Otsutsuki Shibahu can be easily stopped. I think my knowledge of diary is still too superficial, and we have a copy of such a diary to follow Yu Chen to grow to a very high level. Kaguya. Eternal life and becoming a god, in my opinion, may be just a stage. Hiss. Since Yu Chen was out of danger, the relaxed girls were busy chatting, but didn't pay attention to the main points. At this time, Kaguya suggested that they finally realized how much wealth they had in their hands. Tsunade. Ha ha ha, let me see who dares to say that my mother is out of luck. Didn't I get a diary? Anko. I thought I had a tragic life, but I didn't expect to have such good luck. Fragrant phosphorus. Why do I feel that this is not just luck? Samui. It looks like luck, but in fact it is inevitable. Terumi Mei. Tisk, I really want to give this bad man Yu Chen a sweet kiss to express my enthusiasm. Black soil. I don't understand. Tien. I don't understand. The copies of the diary are not distributed randomly, nor does it mean that the female characters in Yu Chen's mouth have them. We Konoha have many beauties, such as that Tsubaki, such as the handmaid daughter Akoris. Karama Yukumo. After observation and analysis during this period of time, it can be confirmed that only the female character who is liked by Yu Chen can have a diary. Samui. In other words, as long as you have a copy of the diary, you don't need to be afraid that Yu Chen doesn't like you, and you will definitely be rewarded for being brave. By wooden golem. Really, by wooden golem. I don't want to rush, I just want to know if Yu Chen is also interested in me. Samui. I can almost assert that. Azuki Shien. If you want to have a diary, you must be a popular character in Hokage. Plus you are liked by Yu Chen, and you have the desire to be together. Shizune. In other words, it was Yu Chen who chose us first, so that we could have this heaven-defying opportunity to change our lives. Terumi Mei. If you don't like it, please don't touch the diary again. This gift from Mr. Yu Chen. Smiling face. By Wooden Golem. 4. This is all aimed at me. Nohara Lin. So, does Mr. Yu Chen like me too? Kusakina. Well, isn't this obvious? Makoto. There should be no boy who can refuse a girl like Lin. Fragrant Phosphorus. You don't still think about Obito, do you? Nohara Lin. This is gone. After hearing the truth revealed by Mr. Yu Chen in the Valley of the End, I already know where I am in the ugly heart. Nohara Lin smiled lightly, not angry, but relieved. It's not pure liking, but a smile in the low self-esteem and cowardice, and the sunshine in the darkness is the greatest yearning in his heart. So after she died, what Obito thought was not to revive her, not to take revenge, but to escape, but to think that there was something wrong with this world. Because his only light in this world was deprived. Obito's love for her is far from pure. It is more of an excuse to say that it is because of him that he does so much. Why does she have to be passionate and worry about herself? Nohara Lin. Mr. Yu Chen got Rinnegan, which means that Obito has returned to the Pure Land, and may even have been reincarnated. I don't think there is any need to worry about him. Nohara Lin. If possible, I hope everyone will regard him as having died in the Battle of Kanabi, and my companion Obito has already stayed there. Battle of Kanabi, the battle where Uchiha Obito became a hero. Leaving him a little good reputation is Nohara Rin's last tenderness. Tsunade. Yes, but if Kakashi wants to revive Obito at that time, you have to convince him. Nohara Lin. No problem, I have already thought about the reason. Once Konoha's resurrection meeting officially begins, Hitaki Kakashi is bound to want to resurrect Obito. Black soil. By the way, with the death of Uchiha Obito, before Yu Chen established the world government, there will be no major changes in our ninja world, right? Hearing this, the girl's eyes lit up. Feeling very busy recently, finally want to take a break? But at this moment, they saw Yu Chen updating the diary. I want to try to see if I can devour Rinnegan's middle pupil technique, but I can copy it, but I can't stop it. Next, I have to find a safe and quiet place to copy the Rinnegan pupil technique. Speaking of which, I just met Otsutsuki Hagoromo's eyes, and he also saw Black Zetsu. I don't know, will he attack me? Female. You man, there is something wrong with you. I hope he won't be so ignorant, otherwise I don't mind clearing up Kaguya's wife first. 10 Tails has to devour the power of the 9-tailed beasts to become a sacred tree, but devouring your Otsutsuki Hagoromo's soul is also a way, although the quantity is not enough, but the quality is enough. The biggest problem I am facing now is that I have started to copy the pupil technique and factors in Rinnegan. The operation of the Sky Eye technique cannot be interrupted, and the white eyes are also evolving into Tensigan. The physical load is not small. It is best not to use chakra indiscriminately. Sit down and practice, about 1 month time. But if I don't return to Konoha for so long, my wives will definitely worry about me. I don't want to see their factory. Of course, I can also stop the copy at any time, which has no effect on me, but the opportunity to copy this pair of Rinnegans is wasted, and I have to wait for the second pair of Rinnegans to extract the factor. Rinnegan. Although many abilities are not bad, but in fact, the 10 tails are different, and the fruits are different, and there will still be differences. After passing this village, it will be difficult to have this store again. Tangled, it would be great if someone could help me pass on the news. Black Zetsu. To be honest, I don't trust him very much, and it's hard for my wives to believe him too. Troublesome, I have to think of a reliable method. Yu Chen's diary stops here temporarily. After reading it, all the girls were completely relieved of him, and at the same time, they were all very useful. Normally, what if it disappears for a month without any reason? If you can get Rinnegan, it's totally worth it. Yu Chen disappeared for a month, and none of them would be in danger. If you are really in danger, Yu Chen can be resurrected after returning, so there is no need to worry. But Yu Chen wanted to give up copying Rinnegan in order not to worry them. How can you not love this feeling of being put in your eyes? Hagoromo. In the first ball space, Otsutsuki Kaguya's eyes were fixed, and a murderous look emerged from the bottom of his heart. To tell the truth, she is now a branch house, violating the clan rules as a guardian to kill the guardian of the Otsutsuki style. After being caught in the clan, it must be a capital offense. Even if she is lucky enough to take the fruit of the high-grade sacred tree, it will only make people in the family look at it with a high regard and not take action, but all members of the family will definitely take action against her in order to protect their own interests. Once she is caught, it must be the fate of a death sacrifice 10 tails, so she is preparing the Japanese army to rise up and resist. And Otsutsuki Hagoromo and Otsutsuki Hamura, another one of her preparations to rebel against the clan. Otherwise, how could a greedy and arrogant person like her divide the power of 10 tails to create a human being? But as a result, he suffered from the backlash of his 2 good sons. But she only had anger and sadness, but she didn't say that she was so angry that she had to kill Yukin and Yuchen. The reason is that Yuya and Yukin were bewitched by the stinky toad, and they are still the cards she plans to deal with the members of the Otsutsuki clan in the future. Especially Otsutsuki Hamura, who accompanied her on the moon for hundreds of years, told her that she would go to explore the starry sky and the secrets of Otsutsuki after Tensigen had advanced to a certain level. This one is more like Otsutsuki than Otsutsuki Hagoromo's youngest son, who she feels will one day be a possibility for her own redemption. But unfortunately, Otsutsuki Hamura has not returned, and it is very likely that something unexpected has happened. This made her more tolerant towards Otsutsuki Hagoromo in her heart. But all of this changes at this moment. If Otsutsuki Hagoromo really dared to attack Yuchen, she would never hold back. I hope you won't touch the concubines, only Nilin. Otherwise, the concubine can create you, or make you disappear completely and become a part of 10 tails. The concubine recognizes you, you are the son of the concubine, but if the concubine does not approve, you are just a special creation of chakra. For Kaguya now, Yuchen is the most important person, and also the person who will rely on and accompany her in the future. To be cold-blooded, Otsutsuki Hagoromo and Hamura are just tools she created to resist Otsutsuki. If the tool is obedient, she can also give it a smile, otherwise she doesn't mind remaking it. Kaguya. You should do more intelligence collection, observe whether there are abnormal things in the ninja world, and investigate as soon as possible. It is very likely that it is related to Yuya, and you can deal with it in advance. Tsunade. Konoha, I will order immediately. Samui, Cloud Shinobi Village, I will find a reason for Azabui to pay attention. Terumi Mei. Kirigakure, just a word from me. Tamari. Sanagakure, I can make my father obedient, but I need Sister Tsunade and Sister Hakura to cooperate. Yi Kang. I understand, if Luo Sha doesn't cooperate, don't blame me for going back to the village and flipping the table. Tsunade. Well, there seems to be a lot of things in the Kingdom of the Wind all the time, and we really need to focus on it. You can say what you want to do when the time comes. Conan. I will use the Akatsuki organization, the Land of Rain and some intelligence networks. Shang Lin, Sister Nan, don't jump in the queue, the 5 great nations have missed one at Kuratsuchi. Black Soil, me? Should I say it specifically? Black Soil. Have you forgotten that both First Hokage and Uchiha Madara have been resurrected? When my father sends the news back, I am really afraid that I'll be scared to death. If I ask him to collect information, he will refuse. Female. Although what you said is true, let's save some face for your grandpa. What nonsense are you talking about? But hearing what you said, it is true that there is no need to worry about Yanying village. Azuki Shion. Of course there is a need to collect intelligence, but I think we are passive, and it is best to actively analyze where Sage of 6 Paths may make things happen. Samui. As it should be, I have noticed a very important point. By Wooden Golem. As expected of being one of the 2 female Zoogs in our Cloud Shinobi village, what is it? Curious face. Sam Yi. Female Zoog. What is that? Conan. Nagato was recently reading a novel, Romance of the 3 Kingdoms, written by Yuchen. In it, Zoog Liang is very wise and close to demons, resourceful, and calculating the world. Wooden Golem saw it by chance and became a fan of Zoog Liang. Fragrant Phosphorus. I appreciate how Zhou Yu breaks it even more. Hinata. I like Sun Shangshang. Shizun. Does no one worship Guojia? The counselor next to Boss Sao. Maoyue Xian. I am an admiring wife, Boss Sao. Several women. What's wrong with you? Maoyue Xian. The legacy of Wei Wu that Yuchen has been talking about comes from this Boss Sao, which means that Yuchen admires him the most, and of course I am the same as Mr. Yuchen. Yu Rihong. This wave, you are high-end. Ino, Sister Xian, 6. Ziyuan. You. Why do you feel like you have read the Romance of the 3 Kingdoms? Shizun. More than that, I have also read Shiji. The terracotta warriors and horses of the First Emperor always feel a bit like the armies summoned by Chi Mei. First Emperor. Terracotta warriors. Women who haven't read Shiji have a feeling of ignorance. Yi Kang. I said, aren't we talking about the Sage of 6 Paths now? She has read the historical records, let alone the Romance of the 3 Kingdoms, and said that she will temporarily stop talking about this topic. Samui. Cough, at Wooden Golem. You are the key. By Wooden Golem. Me? What's wrong with me? Azuki Shion. Understood. Samui refers to the Jinchuriki, right? Samui. That's right. The chakra of the nine-tailed beasts are divided by Sage of Six Paths. It can be said that they were born because of Sage of Six Paths, and they are also the ones that don't want to be swallowed by 10 tails. If Sage of Six Paths has if there is no way to intervene in the present world, then the tailed beasts are definitely a big problem. By Wooden Golem. If you want to say that, I will pay attention to Matabi and let you know as soon as there is a situation, but I think that among the 9 Jinchuriki, 9 tails Jinchuriki is the focus of attention. Tsunade. 9 tails is indeed recognized as the strongest tailed beast, but is there any special saying about it? Conan. Maybe tailed beasts have strengths and weaknesses, but the Sage of Six Paths for creating them should be the same, right? Matabi. Same? Ridiculous, that's far from it. F*K. Matabi. Why are you in Group C? This shouldn't be, and it is impossible. Enter. The 2-tailed beasts, nicknamed Demon Cat and real name Matabi, have attributes of fire, Grandmaster various fire attributed ninjutsu and tailed beast bomb, with a gentle and noble personality. It suddenly appeared in the group, stunned all the girls in the group chat. Because the prerequisite for joining the group chat is to have a copy of the diary, and according to their speculation, only the popular female character that Yu Chen likes can get a copy of the diary. Is Matabi a popular female character? Could it be that Yu Chen never spares female, tailed beasts? The most important point is that you need to be invited to join the group. Has anyone invited Matabi? Outrageous. Samui. Matabi, why are you a tailed beast in our group? Matabi. Why can T-tailed beasts be in this group? Is this a human-only group? Shizune. Although this is not a group exclusively for humans, it is a group exclusively for owners of diary copies. Do you have a copy of the diary? Matabi. I don't have one. Anko. Then what about you? Matabi. But by Wooden Golem. Samui. A copy of Wooden Golem's diary, you can see it. The girls were relieved, and couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. Matabi itself does not have a copy of the diary, which at least shows that their guesses are useless. It also shows that Yu Chen doesn't have any weird ideas about this group of chakra. Thinking about it, it's not enough to have beauties like them, and even Yu Chen hasn't had all his income in the harem, so how could he be interested in a cat? Unless it's just what cats can turn into, but is it possible? But when they were relieved, their hearts became more and more. Although the Wooden Golem is the perfect Jinchuriki, and Matabi has reached the point of mutual understanding and chakra integration, but Matabi itself has wisdom that does not belong to human beings, and is an independent living body. With the power of the diary, even Otsutsuki Shibai is not an opponent, and it is impossible to prevent Matabi from snooping. So how is it possible for her to see the contents of the copy of the journal by Wooden Golem? Speaking of which, they remembered that it was said by Wooden Golem that Matabi could not see the copy of the diary. Matabi. A few days ago, I was suddenly able to see a copy of the diary from the perspective of Wooden Golem, together with the content of the group chat, but I can't take the initiative to read it, but there is no limit to speaking. As for the reason, I don't know. Samui. At Wooden Golem, you must know, quickly tell me what's going on. By Wooden Golem. No accident, it should be because of the magic blessing 4 days ago. Sam Yi. I never asked. What is the effect of your magic blessing? By Wooden Golem. It is a special contract, which allows me to bind with a kind of creature with a similar mind. After binding, life, energy, talent, etc. can be shared. When sharing, the death of either of us is not real death, but can be reborn with the help of the other party. If we want us to die, we must get rid of both at the same time. By Wooden Golem. After the blessing disappears, the connection between me and the shared object will not disappear, but chakra needs to be consumed when the shared state is turned on. I used it directly on Matabi at that time. Shared. Matabi. You used this kind of thing to me. Why didn't you tell me that there is a gap between us? By Wooden Golem. Huh, you still say it. Matabi. Isn't it just that you are in love with Mr. Yu Chen? It's just a matter of biological instinct. You humans just like inexplicable values. Wouldn't it be good to be comfortable? By Wooden Golem. Ridiculous. According to you, as long as you are handsome and pleasing to the eye, you can take it to the woods to have a fight at any time? Matabi. A normal cat might do it. As a chakra combination, I value uniqueness, so if you don't want to be tempted, you can only look for one. If Yu Chen pulls you into the grove at any time, I don't think there is any problem. By Wooden Golem. Shut up. Matabi. Cutting, pretending. By Wooden Golem. Do you want to die? Matabi. I'm sorry, but now you don't die, it's hard for me to die. By Wooden Golem. Believe it or not that I committed suicide. Matabi. Coincidentally, as long as I don't die, you can't die either. By Wooden Golem. I shouldn't bind you to this scourge, it's just terrible. Women. Terrible, too much atmosphere for a while, selfless quarrel may have exposed a lot of things. By wooden golem, in short, Matabi can see the diary group chat because of me, she is now my friendship with the same fate, and she is also part of my chakra. Samui. To me, it may be because the magic blessing you bound to Matabi comes from the diary, so the diary defaults to Matabi's qualifications. Yi Kang. I also think this explanation is more reasonable. Ino. It's all good, since everyone knows that Matabi is fine here, don't continue to make mistakes, I just want to know what Wenelvi said just now. Black Soil. That's right, what you mean, Sage of Six Paths had a different attitude towards you nine-tailed beasts. Matabi. It must be different. One-tail Shuhei was born first, has the wind attribute chakra, can manipulate fools, and is also good at sealing. Then I can play with fire. Three Tails has a tortoise shell with strong defense, good at playing with water. Four Tails Sun Wukong has strange power, lava style, earth plus fire. 5 Tails. In short, different tail beasts have different abilities, we just start with the same chakra. Matabi. But our strength is very different, especially 9 tails, inheriting 10 tails can absorb natural energy to strengthen themselves. The chakra platform we have now is probably more powerful than our other 8-tailed beasts combined, to map. Hinata. Got it. If Sage of Six Paths is looking for tailed beasts, the most likely one is Kurama 9 tails? Matabi. That's true, but I think the possibility of the old man's incident is unlikely, because the old man told us before he went to the Pure Land that he should never come back, and he has indeed never come back in the past 1,000 years once. Terumi Mei. No matter what we have to consider now is to keep an eye on the tailed beast and Jinchuriki, to prevent Sage of Six Paths from interfering in the ninja world. Conan. Yes, the establishment of the world government does not allow anyone to destroy it. Terumi Mei. I agree. Tamari. Must. All the women expressed their approval, and this is what it should be. When they were bored, they discussed in the group and found that the world government was established very well. The simplest point is that the resources of all countries can be integrated, so that civilians can live a good life, and it can also avoid conflicts between most ninjas, and task assignments are more targeted and convenient. None of these women are interested in full strength, and they all love peace. If a measure can avoid the emergence of war and benefit most people, why not support it? As for some careerists, they are reluctant to give up rights. Want Uchiha Madara and Senju Hashirama to talk to you? If these two are not enough, then it is not impossible for Yu Chen to step in, as long as you can bear the consequences. Therefore, they are now loyal supporters of the founding of the world government. Matabi. By Wooden Golem. What's wrong, you don't want to do something, but you still turn to Otsutsuki Hagoromo? Kagaya. You better stand on our side. If you help Yuya, neither you nor Yuya can afford the consequences. Matabi. Well, my fascination with Yu Chen comes from my physiology, you may not be as good as me, of course I support him. Matabi. Speechless because I just boasted, but you guessed it right. In a strange space. The supreme power descended, captured and connected many chakra, and finally stood in one place. Sage of Six Paths sat cross-legged on a high place, and there were 9 figures around him, which were 9 big-tailed beasts. Matabi, who was chatting with the girls through the diary, immediately realized that the old man had done it. Depend on. Sensing the change in the surrounding environment, 9 Tails swallowed the potato chips in one gulp, and said unhappily, You bastard, Yu Chen, you're looking for old man again. Old man. You're alive. Otsutsuki Hagoromo. The other 8-tailed beasts. The chips in Kurama's hand fell to the floor. It rubbed its eyes, and finally confirmed that it was right, that it was indeed Otsutsuki Hagoromo. It was exactly the same as when he left this world. He thought he would never come back, but he appeared in front of his eyes. Wait. You're not a ghost, are you? Kurama asked warily. Tuo Yu Chen's clothes, it has a lot of ghost movies and other memories in its mind, and it doesn't deliberately absorb them, but treats them as TV series and movies stored in the hard disk, and clicks on them when they need to watch them. Recently, he has become obsessed with thrillers, and fried chicken, potato chips, crayfish and Fat House Happy Water are a perfect match. Speaking of snacks like fried chicken, Yu Chen still left a special seal in Naruto's body, allowing it to be transformed into corresponding items through natural energy. In other words, the taste is that kind of taste, and you can still feel like ordinary people eating snacks, but he uses natural energy as his own energy. During this period of time, under Yu Chen's guidance, he finally knew what it means to live a good life. No, it's the good life tailed beast should really live. Sealed in the body of Jinchuriki is a tool. Wrong. Big mistake, obviously enjoying the happiness. There is a stable residence, a safe environment, endless food and endless dramas. Now if someone let him out of Naruto's body, he would be more anxious. No, except for Yu Chen. If possible, he would like to hang out with Yu Chen, but unfortunately Yu Chen thinks he is a male, so he only asks him for chakra. It's really a pity, it's a pity, it's a pity, he regrets not turning into a female in Kukina's body. For a while, Kurama thought a lot. It wasn't until he found that the other 8-tailed beasts and Otsutsuki Hagoromo were looking at him that he stretched out his finger and scratched his head and temple with a little embarrassment, and then waved his hand casually. Boom. 8 bottles of Fat House Happy Water appeared, suspended in front of the tailed beast and Otsutsuki Hagoromo. Only in front of Shuhei, there is nothing. He, 9 tails, just can't deal with Shuhei. Even if I think about it now, it would have been nice if I had been tricked into being a woman by Shuhei back then. Guys, try it, it's really delicious. 9 tails took an example. All tails. Kurama, your life is very happy. Otsutsuki Hagoromo glanced at the Fat House Happy Water with a smile in his hand, and then looked at the large bag of potato chips in Kurama's hand, with an inexplicable look in his eyes. That's right, as the strongest tailed beast, I'm living a pretty good life. Kurama's 9 tails were almost up to the sky. If it was in the past, it would be very happy to be able to charge with Sage of 6 Paths. After all, this is the same existence as his father in his heart. But now it's different, after being taught by Yu Chen, the position of Sage of 6 Paths is not unique. You are the strongest tailed beast. He shouted suddenly. When he saw that he didn't have the happy water in the Fat House, he was so angry that he wanted to call the tail beast. But considering that he would be mocked by 9 tails, he resisted it. Now there is a suitable reason to speak, of course it will not let it go. Hey. Contempt appeared in 9 tails' eyes, and he said lightly, a guy with only 1 tail is not worthy to speak in front of me. Kurama. Do you want to fight? Give you 8 tails, you are no match. I have a kind of you come here. Come here, just come here. Kurama was right, he condensed a clone directly in this space, and then rushed in the direction of Shuhei. At the same time, it puts its palms together, forming a posture of absorbing natural energy. Boom. Kurama's clone collided with Shuzuru. The main consciousness of Kurama said to the other 7-tailed beasts and Sage of 6 Paths, taste it quickly, this thing is not only delicious, but also increases your chakra. Hearing what Kurama said, the tailed beast and Sage of 6 Paths couldn't help but look at the jet black sparkling water in front of them, regardless of whether they were originally interested. This strange liquid is not only delicious, but also increases chakra? I'll give it a try. Matabi was the first to try. She has been in Konoha with Wooden Golem, but she knows that Fagi Happy Water, a drink developed by Yu Chen, can only be drunk by people in the ninja world at the small bowl in Kyushu. As a tailed beast, she has always been curious about the taste of this strange-looking drink that is favored by Wooden Golem. If you have the opportunity now, of course you will not miss it. Google. Matabi gulped down the coke. The taste of the impact of the bubbles made her almost unable to hold back the coke directly. However, as a tailed beast, she still resisted this feeling and drank the sparkling water in one gulp. Cool. Matabi exclaimed comfortably, his pretty eyes almost narrowed into a slit. By Wooden Golem. Hey, don't act like you have no market. Okay, as a Jinchuriki, I will feel very shameless. Matabi. You also said, I asked you to invite Yu Chen to set up a seal that can transform natural energy into food for me, but you kept refusing. If I could taste it earlier, would I behave like this? From Wooden Golem. Hey, the position of the seal is so embarrassing, and I am not familiar with Yu Chen. How could I let him see it? And adjust the seal. Matabi. Prudence. Matabi. Don't talk to me, just watch the live broadcast quietly, and see what the old man has to say. He actually called our 9-tailed beasts together. I didn't expect the old man to have such ability. Kagaya. He has done 10 tails Jinchuriki and is born Rinnegan. He naturally has such abilities. As long as it can be done with chakra, don't be surprised. Conan. This is Sage of 6 Paths. It doesn't look like a good person. Female. But in terms of appearance, Sage of 6 Paths is actually very kind, right? It's black for black, but actually, it's very beautiful. Fragrant phosphorus, not only ugly, but also wretched. Ino. The face is hideous. Zayuan. It is completely incomparable with Lord Yu Chen. All of a sudden, all the girls gave Sage of 6 Paths bad reviews in the group chat. For this, Kagaya thought for a while and still didn't speak. Although Yu Yi was easily created by her, all the women complaining about Yu Yi's appearance are actually complaining about her aesthetics. But this time, she felt that she could bear it. It's been a long time too, this is what Yu Yi looks like now. So old, you asked for it. For Hagoromo and Hamura, Kagaya has higher expectations, otherwise it will not help her to be inferior to the members of the Otsutsuki clan. By her chance, the two brothers will awaken Rinnegan and Tensigan respectively, and finally become the real Otsutsuki, possessing immortality and endless lifespan. But Otsutsuki Hagoromo was fooled by the stinky toad. In Yu Chen's words, he was on the road of deformity and strengthening, the speed increased but his own potential talent was lost. For example, now, after forcibly becoming 10 Tails Jinchuriki, I have to make various responses when I can't support it. Delicious. Good. Chakra also adds a touch of truth. Kurama, I heard that your life in Konoha is not good, it seems that everything is a rumor. With Matabi as a demonstration, all tailed beasts and Sage of Six Paths have followed suit, followed by compliments. Especially 8 Tails, relying on his good relationship with 9 Tails, immediately let him change some more. For this, Kurama did not refuse, and even made beef jerky, potato chips and other snacks. Just kidding. How it was shown by Yu Chen back then, of course it has to be shown in front of all the tailed beasts now. It's okay to be generous, and use natural chakra anyway. After leaving this space, these tailed beasts will envy him if they can't taste it. Tisk. Look, it's Kurama that's just different and will always be your big brother. Thinking of this, Kurama suddenly felt that it was time for Shukakuya to have a taste. He will suffer more only if he has tasted delicious food and can't taste it later. Maybe, if you keep your fate, you will bow your head? 9 Tails, admit defeat and admit that you are my younger brother. I can let you go and give you delicious food, Kurama said. Don't even think about it. Shuhei was furious and counterattacked in various ways. Seeing this, Kurama was not in a hurry to persuade, but let the avatar continue to attack. This guy needs to suppress his anger first. Old man, you suddenly appeared and found us, what's the matter? Kurama looks to the Sage of Six Paths, Otsutsuki Hagoromo. I still remember him, it is really commendable. Attention everyone. Matabi urged in the live broadcast room. She, but betrayed. Next, let's see which tailed beast is going to die. Tisk. I hope 9 Tails dies, then she will be the big sister in the future. By Wooden Golem. Matabi, why do I find you happy, what are you doing? Matabi. This lady is looking forward to becoming the #1 tail beast. By Wooden Golem. No, can you stop thinking about such unrealistic things? Matabi. Impractical. Sisters, take a look, is it reasonable to mix in our group with a woman who looks down on Lord Yu Chen in the diary? Is this correct? I propose to remove her and let me join. By Wooden Golem. Women. Stare, by Wooden Golem. Since when did I look down on Yu Chen and diary? Matabi. Hey, the tailed beast is the first, no, the only tailed beast with a copy of the diary. Is there any problem with surpassing other tailed beasts? By Wooden Golem. You're right to say that. Matabi. Right, be more strict in speaking in the future. By Wooden Golem. But isn't this diary copy mine? Matabi. What's mine is yours, everything is the same. By Wooden Golem. F*K off, I shouldn't have bound you with the blessing of the law. For this, Matabi chose not to play Wooden Golem. After all, she has already taken the benefits, so it's not suitable to get cheap and act good. At this time, Otsutsuki Hagoromo of Sage of Six Paths said in a deep voice, Originally, I have a task for you, and I need you to help me collect information about a person to judge whether he will endanger the ninja world, but now it is not I need it. As he spoke, Yuya looked at 9 Tails and asked, Kurama, the Yu Chen you mentioned just now, but what about Konohagakure's Hokage assistant Yu Chen? Hey, old man, you actually know Konohagakure, and also Hokage's support. Kurama looked surprised. The history of Konoha village and Hokage is only more than 60 years, and Otsutsuki Hagoromo passed away 1,000 years ago. How can you still know about it? Could it be that you have been paying attention to the ninja world? Before looking for you, I met an old friend of Mount Myoboku. Feather Robe touched his white beard, and said, I know a lot of things from him, and I also met a ninja named Jiraiya, and learned something from him. Little information. Kagaya. The stinky toad is still messing with the situation. Terumi Mei. Those who are not of our race must have different hearts, Mr. Yu Chen is right. Kurama Yukumo. When I am strong, I will attack Mount Myoboku and make that big toad pay the price. Tsunade. Jiraiya, this guy, why is he so unreliable, he keeps leaking any information. Shizune. Master Tsunade, I don't think it is necessary to blame Master Jiraiya for this point, after all, he is facing the Sage of Six Paths. Kagaya. Indeed. What Yoromo wants to know, this ninja named Jiraiya will tell the whole story without any problem, similar to the weakened version of Distinguished Heavenly Gods, which is the basic ability of Rinnegan. Fragrant Phosphorus. You cheating guys are really scary, unlike me, who is just an ordinary person. No, you, as the Uzumaki clan with the most special abilities, how about Versailles? Well, after all, it's you, old man. Kurama nodded, and then said solemnly, I really know Yu Chen very well. What do you want to know? Matabi's eyes began to brighten, and he said silently, here we come, we come. When Kurama sells Yu Chen's information, it's better to say a few bad things about bad breath, and her position will be stable. Do you think he will bring danger to the ninja world? Sage of Six Paths asked. No. Kurama gave an affirmative answer. I can say that he is one of the people who most hope for peace in the entire ninja world, and has been working hard for it. It can still flourish. Matabi. No, this is what Kurama can say. Really? A look of surprise appeared in Yu Yi's eyes. He knows the character of his youngest son. It can be said that he is a bit of a saint, because no one dares to provoke him because of his strength. Influenced by Ashura Chakra, most of his reincarnations will also be Wei Guangzheng. He has always felt that the ninja world will be transformed by reincarnation of Ashura, leading to true peace. But now, Lama Yin has such a high opinion of a stranger. He would be more skeptical about other tailed beasts, but Nine Tails can sense good and evil in people's hearts, so they won't talk nonsense. Old man, your set has already been implemented. Kurama sat down cross-legged, and while eating snacks, he asked, do you know what economic influence is called? Do you know what is called cooperation and win-win interests to maintain balance? Do you know what it means to divert water from the east to the west, divert gas from the north to the south, and vigorously improve technology and productivity? Hearing this, Otsutsuki Hagoromo felt a sense of uncertainty. Each of these nouns does not sound simple. Tell me in detail. Otsutsuki Hagoromo listened attentively. The other tailed beasts also listened with pricked ears, even the Shuhei who was being beaten was no exception. In the diary group chat, all the girls praised Kurama. Ju Zuna. I didn't expect Kurama to be a scumbag who just glanced at me in Naruto, but I didn't expect to be a top student. Samui. As a tailed beast, I think it's normal for me to be better at learning. Zayuan. Being able to learn is still secondary. The point is that Kurama is actually serious about studying. I am ashamed and ashamed. Fragrant Phosphorus. I must study hard. I can't be inferior to a fox, right? Hinata. It doesn't matter. According to Brother Yu Chen, you are a scientific research talent, so you are definitely not stupid. Fragrant Phosphorus. Thank you Hinata-chan for your comfort, so are you really not coming to sleep with me? Aster. Hinata-chan is with me, thank you. Ino. Is it not enough for you to have me? By Wooden Golem. It is not the same attitude to finally know how Matabi is worse than Kurama. Matabi. Impossible, absolutely impossible. Kurama. How could he study hard and act like a top student? Kurama chuckled, tilted his head slightly and said, I don't know exactly what these things are going on. Spray. Everyone and the tailed beast are absolutely defeated. I don't know why you put on an inscrutable, confident look. By Wooden Golem. Well, as a tailed beast, is it normal to have a better learning ability? Samui. Fragrant Phosphorus. This Kurama looks quite similar. Ju Zuna. Haha. This is Kurama, hidden. Kurama, you are still as naughty as you were when you were a child. Yuya laughed and shook his head after a brief moment of astonishment. All the tailed beasts also showed helpless expressions. Shuhei wanted to take advantage of the situation and clamor for everyone to shoot together, but was suppressed by Kurama clone. Why is this bastard so powerful? Sho, he roared in his heart. In short, old man, Yu Chen is a good person you can trust. Kurama said seriously. If you just want to know about Yu Chen, I can tell you everything I know. He is Konoha's Hokage support, loved by everyone in Konoha, and respected by people in the 5 hidden villages. I don't know whether your ideal era that people can understand will come, but the ninja world may usher in real peace in his hands, and I firmly believe in this. Under his guidance, the ninja world cannot become worse. Kurama speaks his own judgment. Seeing this, Matabi quickly echoed, my Jinchuriki is visiting Konoha, and I can prove that Kurama is right. Yu Chen is indeed a reliable human being. Even Matabi, you said that? Yuya said with a little surprise. What kind of magical power does this person named Yu Chen have? After thinking about it, he asked Nine Tails, if I want you to investigate Yu Chen in depth, would you like it? As if hearing a huge joke, Kurama instinctively took a few steps back and said seriously, old man, why do you still think about this world? Let's just say, can't you be a dead person? Otsutsuki Hagoromo. Kagaya. Very good, this Kurama won the gold medal for avoiding death, and then only need to hand over a part of the source chakra to the concubine. Ju Zuna. Aha, I didn't expect Kurama, a bad-tempered guy, to live very clearly. Samui. Cough. Kurama has existed for thousands of years. It has witnessed vicissitudes of life. According to Yu Chen's words, it also absorbs the resentment from human beings. Don't understand the darkness and reality too much. Fragrant phosphorus. Finch, 3 Eno. Oh, you are so satisfied with learning Yu Chen's words, you even started to learn the accent. Shang Lin. Does it matter? That is my brother Yu Chen. By Wooden Golem. Matabi, you have to be more aggressive. Didn't you say that you want to surpass 9 tails and become the number 1 tail beast? The result depends on the output of Kurama, and you don't do anything. Matabi. Got it, watch me operate. Old man, I think what Kurama said is right. Matabi echoed with a loud voice, his eyes were firm, and his momentum rose. From that posture, it was no longer a naive cat monster, but a blue flame tiger. Matabi's opening immediately became the focus of the audience. Otsutsuki Hagoromo said unexpectedly, Matabi? Are you also optimistic about this human named Yu Chen? A Kurama has surprised Yuya, after all, this is his most important tailed beast. Unexpectedly, even Erway Matabi, who has a matching personality and a lazy form, has the same idea. Of course. Matabi nodded earnestly. If what I know is correct, you are not familiar with Yu Chen. Yu Yi asked doubtfully, what made you make such a judgment? I've said it all, Kurama is right, Matabi said seriously. Kurama. Tails and Daughters, by Wooden Golem. Hey, that's what you said, let me watch you do it. Anko. PFFT, sorry, I really couldn't help it. Tien. This wave of operations, I admit that you showed me off. Makoto. In terms of not letting people down, I would call you the strongest. Ju Shingna. Oh, ha, I laughed so hard, I have to. Tsunade. Erway, I feel that she has fully exposed the fact that she has no cultural background. Cover face. Conan. Unexpectedly, a person who looks so heroic and capable from Wooden Golem actually doesn't like studying or reading. By Wooden Golem. Hey, please don't raise the question about the tailed beast to Jinchuriki, okay? By Wooden Golem. Although I am not as full as Samui and Mabui, I am stronger than them, wilder than them, and better at fighting than them. Effect. So don't the directions you are good at prove your muscle and brain more. Samui. You better stop talking, Matabi, let me teach you how to say it. Matabi. Great, if only my Jinchuriki were Samui you. By Wooden Golem. Hee, I'm so sorry, Samuel, you're not qualified. Samui. Cough, Matabi coughed lightly, and said earnestly, old man. I think you are from the past, you should not interfere with the affairs of the present, let alone look at the present from the perspective of the past, you must know that the times and society are always developing. In Yu Chen, I have seen the dawn of peace in the ninja world, and his attitude towards the tailed beasts is also very good. I think it is not far from the time when we are completely liberated. Since you trusted us back then, you gave us everything and let us choose who we trust. Then let us make our own choices. If you are fine, stay in the Pure Land and quietly receive your soul. Sam Yi. Needless to say, the last sentence is my sigh. Last sentence. Amatabi shrank his eyes and suddenly entered a dazed state. She seemed to have made a mistake. What should I do now? By Wooden Golem. You see, Matabi influences me. Azuki Shion. Now I just hope that Otsutsuki Hagoromo will not find it tricky, although I think it is impossible. Kagaya. It doesn't matter, the big deal is to play the card with Yuya, but the concubine wants to know how he will face Aishin. Matabi. Kagaya G Haki, Kaguya's sister is invincible. Effect. People want to swallow you all the time, silly. Fragrant phosphorus. I thought first Hokage and Black Soil were invincible, but I didn't expect Matabi to be more stupid than them. Black Soil. Right, I'm still stupid. Black Soil. Oh, wait, are you scolding me? Female. That's all, you two are a perfect match. This guy named Yu Chen was actually recognized by Kurama and Matabi. There might be something. Yeah, who doesn't know that Kurama and Shuhei are tied for the worst temper? Although Matabi is easy to deceive, he is also the most wary of humans. They all agree that this Yu Chen seems to be interesting. My Jinchuriki killer bee is a weirdo, I accept even him, everything else is fine, hey. 3 Tails. How are you doing recently? I heard that you changed several Jinchuriki in a short period of time, are you dead? Some time ago, I was indeed on the verge of death and rebirth, but a few days ago, a force returned. Even if my current Jinchuriki dies, I will not die, but I don't know why. Oh, I know that. Matabi said. Do you still remember Nohara Lin? She was revived with the help of Yu Chen, and the original chakra you left in Nohara-Lin's body was also increased. Kurama and I also helped each other. Just a moment, so you're alright. Hearing this, Three Tails' one-eyed eyes lit up, nodded and said, in this way, my current Jinchuriki dies, and I will be reborn in Nohara-Lin's body. I don't have to be afraid of dying for several years, a good thing. I was hanging out with Lao Zi, and I also heard about Yu Chen. Lao Zi also said that he was going to the Land of Fire. Why don't I give it a go? Four Tails asked. Me too. Seven Tails Chome said, my Jinchuriki Maple has been paying attention to Konoha Hokage assisting Yu Chen recently, and he hesitated to go to Konoha. From time to time, she said that she was hit by Yu Chen again, and it was true. I don't even know what nonsense she is talking about. As soon as this remark came out, the group chat fell silent. Immediately afterwards, the eyes of the girls lit up. Samui. If there is no accident, Shizune, it should be like that. Uyue Shion. It's very strange, she feels that she didn't come here immediately. Terumi Mei. It should be more cautious, after all, Jinchuriki is in Shaoran village again. Tsunade. So it is an organization with us, then I am more confident to call her to Konoha. The girls smiled knowingly. Obviously, this Seven Tails Jinchuriki Fung, he has a copy of the diary just like them. Okay, you can all bring your Jinchuriki to Konoha village. I'll let you know what it means to be at home. Nine Tails patted his chest and said, according to Yu Chen's arrangement, the hatred between me and the Konoha people will be resolved soon, and then it will be my territory. By the way, Kakuo, why don't you persuade Four Tails to take Jinchuriki back? Asked the tailed beast. Han and Onogi are not in the mood to pay attention to this right now. Five Tails Kakuo shook his head and said, the news of the resurrection of first Hokage and second Hokage came out. Onoki can't sleep at night now, and the village is afraid that he will burp his fart. Who cares about Lao Zi defection? Speaking of this, you can tell Onoki a piece of news. Matabi's eyes lit up, and he said smartly, Uchiha Madara has been resurrected, and it is a real resurrection, and under the deterrence of Yu Chen, he has decided to return with Senju Hashirama Konoha. Let's deal with Yintong together. All Tails. Misty Grass, Senju Hashirama and Uchiha Madara are all revived. At this moment, they recalled the memories of being suppressed and sent out by these two people respectively. It was really terrible. But who is this Otsutsuki that Matabi said to deal with? What? Uchiha Madara is resurrected and going back to the village. Kurama suddenly became angry. How can the nasty Madara come back to life? No, he wants to discuss it with Yu Chen. Absolutely not let Madara bully him. Can Matabi use some brains? The girls screamed wildly in their hearts. Whether it is the resurrection of Uchiha Madara or the information of Otsutsuki, it is still a secret. Doesn't she show that she has a problem by saying this? Sure enough, the way Sutsuki Hagoromo looked at Matabi has completely changed. Matabi, you seem to know a lot. I'm in the Pure Land to receive the soul, you know. The resurrection of Uchiha Madara is still a secret in Konoha, you know. The most important point is that you actually knew the existence of the Otsutsuki family. There was a gleam in Otsutsuki Hagoromo's purple eyes, and he asked in doubt, I am curiosity, where did you get this information from? Could it be that Yu Chen told you? Hearing this, a purple brilliance flashed deep in Matabi's eyes, and he replied subconsciously, of course my Jinchuriki told me these things by Wooden Golem. By Wooden Golem? Where did she get this information? Of course. Matabi subconsciously wanted to answer the diary. But when this thought came to her, she felt an extremely strong killing intent enveloped her. That feeling, she will be erased in the next moment, and it is still the kind that will not be resurrected. Hiss, under Ultimate's icy cold, Matabi suddenly became extremely calm and realized that something was wrong. Even if the other party is an old man, even if she is not on guard against the old man, she will never say anything, even revealing the existence of a copy of the diary. Matabi. By Wooden Golem, I don't feel right. By Wooden Golem. What? Terumi Mei. I've been analyzing the conversation, and I haven't found any problems. It's just a normal question. You can prevaricate her at will. Ju Xingna. I don't deserve this old guy to know. We are more curious about what he will do after knowing everything. Makoto. When I left the Pure Land, I met his eyes. He didn't attack me. His strength and ability are definitely not as strong as we imagined. Matabi. No, for a moment just now, I wanted to mention the copy of the diary. All the girls frowned. The diary is supreme, but there is a sense of death hanging over them when they try to refer to someone who doesn't have a diary. That kind of feeling is very bad. People who have experienced it once will never have such an experience a second time. But this is not the point. The point is that Matabi is not stupid, but he should not disclose this information. In fact, she herself felt that there was something wrong with this idea. Azuki Shion. Does it matter what Sage of Six Paths did? Conan. I have been observing carefully, but I didn't see any movement of him. Yu Rihong. It is definitely not an illusion, the diary will protect Matabi. Kagaya. There is no doubt, it was Hagoromo who used Rinnegan to exert psychological hints on Matabi. Fragrant Phosphorus. Psychological hint. Ino. This touches on my professional field. Psychological suggestion is not an illusion, because it does not need to be activated through chakra, but to let the other party accept one's wishes, concepts, emotions, etc. in a physical or special way. Hypnosis is psychological suggestion. It is an appropriate technology, but there is an essential difference between the two. Hypnosis will expose people's subconscious mind. Ino. People receive psychological hints all the time. There are strong and weak psychological hints, but the effect of psychological hints is. Ino was very enthusiastic to give everyone some popular science. After reading, they quickly make a summary. Terumi Mei. It means that Matabi was encouraged to trust Sage of Six Paths, so he wanted to say everything without the slightest guard. Ino. Sister Ming understands right, that's what it means. Psychological hints can be regarded as a weakened version of distinguished heavenly gods, that is, to amplify the thoughts that a person has already produced. Under certain circumstances, they will think that this is their own decision and judgment. Tsunade. The induction is very good. In this way, Jiraiya should have encountered the same situation. Conan. Through the psychological suggestion exerted by Rinnegan, it is not easy to think about it. Kagaya. In this spiritual space created by Yuya, Matabi, as a part of Ten Tails chakra, really cannot resist him. Matabi. Damn it, the old man is planning on me, does she know what I just went through? By Wooden Golem. Don't be angry, it will be fine if Sage of Six Paths sees something tricky. Matabi. I still can't get angry. Samui. Simple, give him what he wants. Matabi. What do you mean? Samui, listen to me. In the mental space, the expression on Matabi's face was very tangled, as if he wanted to say or not. Seeing this scene, Otsutsuki Hagoromo couldn't help being a little surprised that Matabi could have the perseverance to hold back, so he secretly increased the output of hints. After a few breaths, Matabi's tangled expression faded away, and he said, Yu Wooden Golem fell in love with Yu Chen at first sight, and he's a bit of a romantic mind, so he was madly defeated. More than that, Samui is also a love brain. They all want to be Yu Chen's woman, so they go crazy to get close to Tsunade and the others. Actually, the outside world doesn't know that they are all Yu Chen's women, they are all a family, and they have channels to share information. The matter of Yu Chen is a secret to others, but not to Wooden Golem. Matabi comes clean, revealing the news to the astonishment of all Tails and Otsutsuki Hagoromo. The reason is that Wooden Golem wants to become Yu Chen's woman. But if you think about it carefully, it seems that there is nothing wrong with it. Take Otsutsuki Hagoromo himself as an example. At the beginning, he was deceived by Hamaru to take advantage of the loopholes to deal with Otsutsuki Kagaya. Isn't it because his lover was taken away by the sacred tree and fell into infinite reading? In fact, he is also a love brain. Others may not believe it, but Sage of Six Paths certainly does. If it were Uchiha Madara, it would be a sniff. Terumi Mei. This trick is brilliant. By Wooden Golem. But why say me? Samui. Don't say you were unreasonable, and didn't I bring myself? By Wooden Golem. You are me and you are not, but forget it this time, but will Sage of Six Paths believe it? Tsunade. He is not a 3-year-old child, so he will definitely not believe it directly, but as a love brain, he will definitely not question it directly. Karama Yakumo. Who would have thought that Sage of Six Paths is actually a love brain? Makoto. After all, he is a fierce man who can seal his mother for the sake of his so-called lover. Kyuko Nai, laughing to death. What you said is also true, I am too lazy to argue with you. Matabi said that, but I remembered one thing. Karama clapped his hands, and suddenly said, this guy Yu Chen likes women a little bit, a woman with such a violent personality like Kukina, Makoto's mental illness with Mangekyo Sharingan, and Tsunade, an old woman who is a descendant of Mito, will never let anyone go. On the contrary, the old man is so useful. He dislikes me as a male and refuses to take me. Let me stay in Naruto's body. It's just ridiculous. What's the use of a woman? What's there to like? Karama was full of resentment, and his remarks are undoubtedly testifying to Matabi's remarks. Ju Shingna. What is a woman with a violent personality? I am a small bird to Yu Chen, okay. I have to be careful. Makoto. Really? Why'd I think you, bloody chilly, deserve your reputation? Ju Zuna. It's just that the 18th style is a bit powerful. Are you angry that Kurama said you were crazy? Makoto. Why are you angry? In Uchen's words, being angry will make your skin worse. I just need to beat Kurama later, won't it be fine? Smile. Juzuna. Good idea, bring me one. Tsunade. Kukina. Remember to beat me up when the time comes. Hiss. All the women mourned for Kurama. If you say you are unbalanced in your heart, just rest assured. What is cheap? A lecherous man. There was a trace of defense in Yuya's eyes. In this space he dominates. Matabi and Kurama, as chakras stripped from 10 tails, will not lie to him, nor can they lie to him. Since they all said so, it must be the exact news. And a man with a woman has a weakness that can be manipulated, and it can't be broken. Not to mention, Yu Chen has a lot of women, so he has a lot of weaknesses, probably? I see. Yuya pressed down the tin staff, stood up and said, no matter what, you should first collect information according to what I said. If the information I get shows that he will not harm the ninja world, I will naturally not do anything. Next, you can't be lazy anymore. Hearing this, the many-tailed beasts responded immediately. It's just investigating a person's information through their own channels, because the boss still has some face. Shua. The return of the all-tailed consciousness. 9 tails swallowed the potato chips in one gulp, and was about to ask Naruto to separate out a shadow clone, and entered it by herself, and went outside to take a look around the leaves. But the next moment, he was dumbfounded, because he felt the gaze of a pair of Mangekyo Sharingan. Uchiha Makoto. F*K. What are you going to do? Hearing this, the corner of Makoto's mouth curled up inexplicably. The wrong name is an extra crime. Kurama. If you want to beat me up, just say, you stare at such a big pair of Mangekyo, tell me it's not Uchiha. Billion? Ah. In Naruto's sealed space, Kurama's face was very ugly. Uchiha Makoto did nothing but control it with the eternal Mangekyo. But the feeling of being controlled is like doing a roller coaster after participating in a 10-kilometer marathon, and then riding an off-road vehicle to go racing in the mountains, and the car is still filled with the smell of nose socks, durian and stinky tofu. Forgive it for clearly not knowing these things, but using this to describe it. Because he couldn't find an appropriate adjective for a while, that's all he could do. The feeling of being so motion sick that he was about to die kept him awake. He swore that he would never try it a second time. Sue, tell me, how did I offend you? Kurama looked at Makoto in the sealed space. He wanted to die clearly. Well, I want to never make a second mistake in the future. I just want to test my pupil power. Makoto smiled gently. She is not Matabi, who knows if Sage of 6 Paths will pay attention to something through Kurama. How can she tell the truth? If Kurama commits a crime again in the future, it would be better to give him another beating. What the hell am I? Kurama immediately wanted to scold her. If you want to test your pupil power, then go find Yu Chen. With Yu Chen's strength, it's not easy to help you do experiments. However, seeing the indistinct curvature of Makoto's mouth, his rationality forced him to calm down, and he smiled brightly. Sister Makoto, I'm not strong enough to stop you from glancing at the illusion, and I can't test anything at all. Yeah. Makoto nodded in approval. Your strength is indeed weak. Kurama. It's not that I'm weak, it's that you are a bit fishy. Don't think that he just said that because he is cowardly, but Makoto is really good. Not that Mangekyo Sharingan can control it, Kurama is not that good. Uchiha Madara opened the eternal Mangekyo, so that he can be enchanted by the illusion at a glance. Although Uchiha Obito is young, he has transplanted Hashirama cells, and his pupil power is not weak. In addition, he just came out of Kukina's body, and the group will be controlled by a glance. If you wanted to say, the Uzumaki clan is stronger than Uchiha in restraining their tailed beasts. But now, Uchiha Makoto can also control him at a glance. What can it say? It's also hopeless. Sister Makoto said yes. Kurama maintained a smiling face and said, if you want to experiment in the future, you can find Shuzuru from Sanagakure. That guy is a grandmaster sealer, and he is more resistant to the pupil technique. Oh? Makoto's smile got weirder. These people are very aware of the conflict between Kurama and Shuzuru. This stinky fox, pretending to be clever, wants to bring trouble to the east. In fact, this is nothing, but she should not be calculated. Kurama. Do you think I don't know about the conflict between you and Shuzuru? Makoto asked with a smile. Kurama trembled all over, and said in disbelief, could it be that Yu Chen even told you this? That's right. Makoto nodded and said, you know about my relationship with Yu Chen. He told me this. What's the problem? Although Yu Chen recorded it in the diary, and she also knew it from the diary, but the meaning is the same. Kurama felt numb. How can these human beings be so unable to hide their secrets? Well, big sister, I'm definitely not trying to use you, that. Kurama racked his brains to say something nice. Don't look at Makoto smiling so gently, but he is really ruthless when he does things. He doesn't want to experience the experience just now again. But before he could think of his lines, Makoto smiled lightly and shook his head. Don't worry, I won't shoot you again, I can understand your feelings. Hearing this, Kurama breathed a sigh of relief, and also had the idea that the woman in front of her had a good character. But the next moment, he directly exploded. Kusakina, it's your turn. Makoto smiled slightly, and a figure appeared beside her. It was Kakuna. I can't bear it anymore, come on. Several golden chains appeared behind Kukina, entangled Kurama's 9 tails, and then entangled his limbs. It was the moment I liked to hear, and 9 tails left no shed tears. Ah choo, while 9 tails was being beaten, 1 tail Shukaku sneezed in the sealed space inside Gaara. Immediately, he turned into cursing. Damn it, it must be that stinky fox speaking ill of me behind my back and mocking me. Damn it, if I didn't miss the initiative, I would have been beaten by you. Uncle Shuhei is so angry. Tailed beasts can actually shield themselves from pain through complete chakrization, so it doesn't hurt to be beaten. Except after adamantine sealing chain's limit, chakra has psychic energy and can also transmit feelings. But in front of the other 7-tailed beasts and Otsutsuki Hagoromo, he was beaten violently by the elves, which made Shuzuru, who values face the most and the self-proclaimed boss of tailed beasts, unbearable. As a result, the old man just let them leave the space without saying a word, and didn't give him a chance to get back to the space. Now it is really brooding, thinking about how to get back the place. Yes. After cursing the 18th generation of your Kurama ancestors, that is, 10 tails and 10 tails companions, as well as Otsutsuki who planted 10 tails, a light suddenly appeared in Shuzuru's cross eyes. He thought of a great idea that could get himself paid. Kurama and Matabi are optimistic about that Yuchen, but the old man is obviously very afraid of this person. As long as I can investigate this Yuchen's information, and even prove that Kurama is wrong, I will definitely make the old man treat him differently. This guy, the old man, ran out suddenly. His strength is so amazing, maybe he has other means. If he rewards me, I will be able to take revenge. The more he thought about it, the more he felt that his idea was feasible. Shuhei slapped his thigh excitedly, and then he was ready to start acting. The first is to communicate with Jinchuriki and ask Gaara to help him, and even find Luosha through Gaara. With the help of Kazekage, one of the 5 hidden villages, all aspects will become easier. But when he was about to act, Shohei's eyes suddenly became cross-eyed. It suddenly occurred to him that Luosha had just given Gaara the sealing technique learned from Orochimaru. In order to sleep well, Gaara directly blocked his voice and communication. In other words, it is not yet possible to contact Gaara. Then there's nothing I can do. Shouldn't I have made no progress at all when the old man came looking for us again? Shuhei is also numb. At the same time, Matabi is arguing with Wooden Golem. The reason is of course to shirk responsibility. When they were exhausted from arguing, they stopped. Matabi. How should I investigate the information about Yuchen? By Wooden Golem. Why don't you ask me this kind of question directly, but ask it in the group? Matabi. Tisk, by Wooden Golem. How dare you compare my IQ with me? The old man can summon me to that special space. How can you be sure that he can't come to me and know what I'm doing? Matabi. To be on the safe side, of course it is discussed in the group chat. Of course you have to be smarter than Samui and the others. This wave was completely defeated by Wooden Golem. Sam Yi. The reason is good, but you don't need to ask us, just show the greatest effort. Tsunade. That's right, the information related to Yuchen that can be investigated by the outside world will only prove that he is a good person, and does not contain important information. Shizune. The more serious you are, the better, it will make Sage of 6 Paths think you are serious. Matabi. Understood, Wooden Golem remembers to cooperate. By Wooden Golem. What do you say? On Erway's side, it can be regarded as setting the tone. The land of water, Kirigakure. He was recuperating, or in other words, a voice suddenly sounded in the ear of Yugura, who was lingering on his last breath. 3 tails? It's me, Yugura, I need your help. Look for me, help you? Yugura wondered if he was under the illusion again. A tailed beast, a weapon of war, actually asked for his help. Why did he think he was willing to agree? But the next moment, Yugura felt a wave of chakra pouring into his limbs and bones, and the serious injury he suffered was unexpectedly suppressed by will, which made him feel indescribably relaxed. Isofu. What is this? This is the perfect chakra shared by Jinchuriki. My Grandmaster Water attribute chakra can barely heal you. Jifu said frankly. If you are willing to help me, maybe I can get the reward from the old man, and you will also benefit. Citrus Yagura's silent heart suddenly became hot. Who would want to die if they could? Not to mention that he is still a dignified Mizukage, with a high position and authority. However, although he looks young, he is actually over 40 years old, not a young man without a city. After pondering for a while, he asked, Jifu, who is the old man you mentioned just now? Sage of Six Paths. Jifu didn't hide it either. You know the Sage of Six Paths? We-tailed beasts were created by the old man. This news really surprised the doctor. So he is not helping Neo Isofu, but doing things for Sage of Six Paths. Okay, how do you say you need me to help you? Simple, just collect as much content as possible for Konoha Village Hokage to assist Yu Chen. So easy. Understood. Citrus Yagura sprang into action immediately. Compared with 3 tails, 6 tails Seiken, also in Kirigakure, is not so easy. Because its Jinchuriki Yu Gao is just a simple Jinchuriki, who has no status in Kirigakure and has always been guarded against. It is somewhat difficult to investigate Yu Chen's information through Yu Gao. 4 tails is more straightforward, let 4 tails go to the leaves directly. 8 tails has a good relationship with Killer Bee, and they also sent him to 4th Raikage for help. All of a sudden, all the tail beasts and Jinchuriki moved into action. Yu Chen didn't know about this matter. At this time, he is absorbing the calendar area in Rinnegan. Seeing this, Black Zetsu approached slowly and smiled. Father, what can I do for you? Hearing this, Yu Chen thought of something and put it in the diary. Kaguya's will is a bit interesting. Otsutsuki Kagaya. Fragrant phosphorus. Kaguya's will? Did Sister Kagaya do something? Hinata. I think Brother Yu Chen should be talking about Black Zetsu. Conan. It must be Black Zetsu. It seems that he is not dead and is still by Yu Chen's side. Anko. Wait, isn't Yu Chen in a state of being unable to move now? The eyes of the girls froze. According to Black Zetsu's cautious, old-fashioned personality, if he finds that Yu Chen can't move now, he might make some small moves. Even if Yu Chen really knew Kagaya, Black Zetsu would still regard resurrecting Kagaya as the highest principle of action. Pain, ambition, benefit, dignity, etc., are not as important as the resurrection of Kagaya in Black Zetsu's heart. If he did something to Yu Chen, wouldn't the latter be in danger? Makoto. At Otsutsuki Kagaya, your will is not so irrational, is it? Kagaya. Azuki Shion. Obviously, Black Zetsu does not have rationality in the matter of resurrecting Kagaya-ji, only the optimal solution. Karama Yukumo. Isn't the husband dangerous? Samui, calm down. You guys have forgotten that Yu Chen can stop copying Rinnegan's power at any time, don't worry about safety. Zayuan. But Master Yu Chen also said that this time the opportunity to copy is very rare, otherwise he would not be entangled in whether to copy in situ. Conan. It's very simple, we go to the scene to frighten Black Zetsu. Tsunade. Is it too late? Kusakina. In time, Makoto and I have already rushed to the vicinity of the wave country. Conan. I'm already near here, just find the location to isolate the enchantment. Near the land of waves, under the moonlight, the waves are surging. Behind Conan is a pair of white paper wings, which look very holy under the moonlight. She used perception to search for nearby islands, trying to find the location of Yu Chen. Is it here? Conan turned his head to look in one direction. There, as far as the eye can see is the endless sea, but her perception is blocked from exploring. To be able to shield her perception, there must be a powerful enchantment. Shua. Conan flew towards the suspicious direction, his body turned into an afterimage. At this time, Yu Chen updated the diary again. The more you call my father, the easier it is to say. Doesn't he know that he means Kagaya? Rounding up. This is also Kagaya calling me daddy? Tisk. I don't like this one, but it's hard for me to do this. Kagaya. Female. We were worried about your conflict with Black Zetsu, and that's all you had to say. Samui. I just said calm down. Ino. As expected of Brother Yu Chen, how can you still be serious at this time? Shang Lin. Is there a possibility that Brother Yu Chen is bored by himself and is writing a diary to pass the time? By Wooden Golem. No, it's not necessary, is it? Matabi. What to wash? This is the truth. Yi Kang. Yes, by Wooden Golem you haven't understood Matabi yet. Makoto. I just want to interview Kagayaheim, what do you think? Kagaya. How do you feel? Please don't become a concubine for the behavior of Black Zetsu, understand? The girls laughed again. Kagaya is starting to draw a line with Black Zetsu again, as expected of you. But looking at Black Zetsu, I suddenly noticed. Let him wear the information. My wives probably won't believe it, but wouldn't it be good to let him bring some of my wives here? At that time, I will personally say that I can retreat here. Seeing this message, all the girls nodded one after another. Indeed, if Black Zetsu is just leading the way, they will definitely follow along regardless of the truth. As long as Black Zetsu has a good mind, he won't think about making trouble. Black Zetsu. Sitting cross-legged in the void, Yu Chen said calmly, "Go to Konoha to find Tsunade, and ask her to send some suitable people to me. As for who is suitable, of course it is his wives." This point, needless to say, Tsunade is also clear. After all this, you can go to the moon first. Kaguya now knows the telescope technique, and can use this to communicate with you. Zhao Yuchen revealed Kaguya's information again. He wasn't afraid that Black Zetsu would make troubles on the stronger side, because Sharon's strength was not weak. The power of the gigantic Tensigen, which Black Zetsu cannot control directly, can only be controlled by controlling the Tensigen. But once the giant Tensigen is connected, Black Zetsu can't control it after the spirit of the Sharon soars, so unless he wants to, Black Zetsu can't control him to release Kaguya. And once Black Zetsu gets in touch with Kaguya, he will trust him 100% and hand over everything he has. Yes, my lord father. Hearing that he could communicate with Kaguya by going to the moon, Black Zetsu felt hot inside. If it wasn't for Yu Chen's order, he would have wanted to go to the moon to meet Kaguya-ji immediately. And some thoughts in his heart were also hidden. At this moment, a layer of spatial fluctuations suddenly appeared around the island. Immediately afterwards, a ferryman in a long black dress flew out of it and stood above the sky. The effect of the perception technique was much weaker under the influence of the enchantment, but she still found Yu Chen's location in the first place. A gleam of joy flashed in her eyes, and she clapped her hands to create a paper crane, which flew out of the barrier. Conan. Sisters, I have found Mr. Yu Chen, and I have left a paper crane outside the barrier. You can find it by sensing my chakra. Karama Yukumo. Just find it, I can rest assured. Ju Xingna. I have already sensed it, and I am rushing over this direction. Hundreds of miles away, Makoto and Kukina, who had just arrived near the country of Nami, immediately turned around. Mr. Yu Chen. Have you found Uchiha Obito? Conan slowly flew down to Yu Chen's side, looking at Black Zetsu warily. As for her question, of course she asked knowingly. Yu Chen also pretended not to know that she knew, and said with a smile, "You came just in time, I have completely eliminated Uchiha Obito, and took back Rinnegan. However, due to some special reasons, I want to copy Rinnegan's power now. This will not damage Rinnegan itself, and it can still be returned to Nagato at that time. But I need to retreat here for a while. You send a letter to Tsunade and ask her to send Kukina and Makoto here. Copy Rinnegan." Conan showed surprise, but didn't ask much, nodded and said, "I have sent a message to send 1,000 paper cranes. I believe Sister Kukina and the others will arrive here soon. You don't have to worry about safety issues." Saying that, Conan looked at Black Zetsu unabashedly and vigilantly. Black Zetsu was a little annoyed by such doubts, and said angrily, "Conan, I am now my father's loyal son. You doubt yourself, and you shouldn't be hungry." Now, he already believes 90% of the fact that Kaguya and Yu Chen know each other and are together. The only thing he needs is to go to the moon to confirm. The mother created it, and the father rescued the mother, both are very important to him. In his opinion, the relationship between himself and Yu Chen is closer than that of Conan. How dare a stupid human woman doubt his, Black Zetsu's loyalty to his parents? Conan. I've never been so speechless. Samui. What's wrong? By Wooden Golem, curious. Fragrant phosphorus. Eat melon. Conan gives the impression of being cold, reserved, calm and aloof. There are very few things that can make her emotional, and things that can make her speechless are definitely not easy. Conan. Black Zetsu. Conan, my loyalty to my father is higher than yours. If you doubt me, it is better to doubt yourself. Kaguya-ji. This is very Black Zetsu. The girls laughed again. They have a copy of the diary, so they can't and won't hurt Yu Chen. Especially Conan, the woman who has established a relationship with Yu Chen. Black Zetsu's competition is a bit interesting. Terumi Mei. Based on my experience, now you don't want to compete with Black Zetsu, just take a look at Yu Chen. Conan. Terumi Mei. No matter what Black Zetsu thinks, Yu Chen must value you more than him. As long as you feel wronged, the man will stand up for you, let alone Yu Chen is so gentle and kind. Conan didn't fight with Black Zetsu, but looked at Yu Chen. Black Zetsu. Yu Chen said with a straight face, you go directly to the moon now. Black Zetsu. Yes, my lord father. Black Zetsu glared at Conan as he threw himself into the ground unwillingly. Conan. Black Zetsu. Women, you wait for me, you actually put eye drops on me at my father's side, and wait for my mother to come back from the palace. I will look good with you. Puff. Black soil. Black Zetsu really said that. Kagaya. Conan. He didn't say that, and he wouldn't dare to threaten me in front of Yu Chen if he had the guts, but that's what his eyes meant. Scared. Ino. The resentful little eyes are really funny. Tien. I think Sister Conan, your explanation is still conservative. Sam Yi. The correct interpretation is, with my mother around, you will be concubines after all. If you dare to threaten me now, show me. Tamari. Hiss, my stomach hurts from laughing. Yi Kang. Oh, you guys know that I am immortal now, do you want to laugh at me to death? Ju Zuna. Can you stop being so funny? Makoto. Well, it is indeed Kaguya's will. Kagaya. Kagaya. When he reaches the moon, love the body and cure him. This creation of one's own will is really a bit embarrassing. Kyuko Nai. We're here. The barrier of the isolated island once again raised space ripples. Immediately afterwards, the spirit bodies of Kukina and Makoto entered under the leadership of Qianji, and they saw Yu Chen and Conan at a high place at a glance. Yu Chen-jun, are you alright? The two women came to Yu Chen's side, with nervous and concerned expressions on their expressions. For this acting skill, Yu Chen said that he could give it a high score. I'm fine. Yu Chen said with a smile on his face. You guys came just in time. Tell Tsunade that I have something to do in the next month and I can't go back to Konoha. This month, Sleepy Yi only needs to follow my previous arrangement. I use you all. If you are bored, you can come here to accompany me. There's also Yakumo, you take her time to bring her here. For Kurama Yakumo, Dust now uses illusion to teach her some things about modern society. Possessing illusions that can turn virtual reality into reality, she can create things even if her strength is less than 6 paths level, but she cannot have life. With the assistance of Kuruma Yakumo, all aspects of development will be rapid. Understood. Kakuna and Makoto nodded. They just came to go through a process so that they could bring the news back to Konoha. As for the women talking about Yu Chen, I'm afraid they will come here for a while. Then I will seriously start retreating, and the surrounding protection will be handed over to you. With one more instruction, Yu Chen fully devoted himself to copying the Rinnegan pupil technique. The divine art of Sky Eye is stripped for the Mangekyo series and the top-level White Eye pupil technique, that is, once the Mangekyo Sharingan and top-level White Eye pupil technique are extracted, the eyes themselves become blank boards, but the genes and levels are still there. As a simple example, he now strips the left eye of Kamui, Itachi's Tsukuyomi, Amaterasu, Uchiha Shisui's eyes. These eyes are still there, but the pupil technique in them has completely disappeared. If someone else transplants them, it is equivalent to getting a pair of Hypnosis, a copy of the 3-Tomo Sharingan with much stronger abilities in various aspects, and of course the pattern is different. In addition, it may be possible to master the Susanoo that can be mastered after opening the Mangekyo Sharingan. Once mastered, it can be cast even without eyes. But that's the case, the cool eyes are also very useful. Among other things, when Yu Chen absorbs the remaining Tien-Ji and Kamui, he will have 4 complete pairs of Mangekyo Sharingan in his hand. Transplant this eye to Uzumaki Nagato and Senju Hashirama, and when their strength reaches a certain level, they can open Rinnegan, which is the same as his current state of opening Tenseigan. And they have Rinnegan, will be stronger than Uchiha Madara has Rinnegan, because they have more chakra, and can even have Sage Body. At that time, he is equivalent to having 2 companions with the strength when Sage of 6 Paths first opened Rinnegan. Of course, eye transplants can only be given to reliable companions. For the women around him, he will have other ways to help them become stronger, there is no need to take this route. The double repair Sage mode provided by Uchiha Makoto, the various rewards he got in the diary. Going forward together, everyone's strength can be enhanced countless. Speaking of Rinnegan, he didn't peel off the pupil technique that absorbed it, but copied it. That is to say, after obtaining the power of Rinnegan, other people can use various abilities after transplanting Rinnegan. In this case, it must be because Rinnegan born under the same 10 Tails power has the same pupil technique, similar to Susanoo, which is a standard configuration. Comparing Mangekyo Sharingan and Rinnegan to a USB flash drive, the former is to cut the data in it, and the latter can really be copied and pasted. Copying Rinnegan's pupil technique should speed up my Tenseigan's evolution. After all, there are many abilities that are the same, and I am equivalent to a 2-pronged approach. Yu Chen entered the state of serious cultivation. Suddenly, a strange aura spread around him. Seeing this, Kukina and Makoto didn't say anything, and acted immediately. Kukina's spirit state is many times faster than Makoto's spirit state, so she is responsible for sending messages back to Konoha. In fact, they only need to say something in the group chat, but on Yu Chen's side, the process still needs to be followed. Konan is a technique who throws out many pieces of paper, and then seals and casts the paper of God. The pieces of paper fluttered around and turned into a huge house around Yu Chen, which could shelter him from the wind and rain. Your technique is very convenient, and ordinary Sharingan can't see through it. Makoto came out and praised. As long as it comes in handy, Konan smiled. God's paper technique is an A-level ninjutsu that can transform pieces of paper into any object. If she uses it with all her strength, she can even disguise 600 billion detonating symbols as the sea. The sophistication of this kind of ninjutsu is indeed undetectable even by ordinary Sharingan. Can you change some tools for me? Makoto asked. Anything is fine as long as it doesn't involve life. Konan nodded. Makoto nodded, then turned to look at Yu Chen in the room. Yu Chen, do you need something to eat? I don't need me. My current state will absorb natural energy to strengthen myself. Yu Chen responded. Then we just have to take care of ourselves. Makoto and Konan discussed what to do next. Meanwhile, Cloud Shinobi Village. Azabui, who hadn't slept in the middle of the night, fortunately came to Reikage's office, and unexpectedly found that Killer Bee was still here. He turned all the documents on the desk into a mess, and was speechless for a while. Since the resurrection of third Reikage Eye, this Killer Bee has become increasingly lawless. If the fourth Reikage Eye came first tomorrow, he must think that Reikage's office has been invaded, and he doesn't know how to get angry. Master Killer Bee, what are you looking for? Azabui asked based on his background. I'm an idiot, bastard, I was discovered. Killer Bee gestured strangely, and then said, Hey, Mabui, it's this guy Ba who asked me to search for Yu Chen's information, gangster. Feather dust information? Azabui flashed his eyes and asked, Is it Konoha's Hokage assisting Yu Chen? That's right, that's him, yeah. After getting an affirmative answer, Azabui bent down to pick up the documents on the ground, and at the same time asked nonchalantly, Master Killer Bee, I don't know what Master Eight Tails wants the information from Hokage to assist. Everyone would be curious about this question. Why would a tailed beast inside a Jinchuriki be seriously interested in someone from another hidden village? But Mabui knew that Yu Chen was very special. Ba said it was the task of the old man, yeah. Old man? Mabui suddenly showed a puzzled expression. If it was Killer Bee's old man, she knew it was third Reikage Eye. But who is the old man of Eight Tails? Does the tail beast still have a family? It's the Sage of Six Paths, Bandit. I don't know whether he is more reassuring about Mabui, or he is really heartless. Killer Bee didn't think too much, and gave the answer directly. But this answer made Mabui nervous. The old man of the tailed beast is actually the legendary Sage of Six Paths. Because of the diary, she knows that Sage of Six Paths, originally named Otsutsuki Hagoromo, had a mother, Otsutsuki Kagaya. Kagaya is the ancestor of chakra, and Otsutsuki Hagoromo is the founder of ninja, and can be said to be the ancestor of ninja. It is not surprising that such a person is said to be the one who created the tailed beast. Speaking of which, she did remember that Yu Chen mentioned in the diary that Sage of Six Paths divided 10 tails chakra into 9 parts. It's just that I didn't think in this direction for a while. So, Killer Bee was ordered by Sage of Six Paths to investigate Yu Chen. This matter is intriguing. I've got to tell Samui some way. Mabui secretly thought about eating. However, the expression on her face didn't change at all, and she went to find Yu Chen's information with ease and gave it to Killer Bee. This information is collected by Cloud Shinobi Village, and it is far from Yu Chen's real strength, so it doesn't matter if it is given out. Yo, Mabui, you did a good job. Killer Bee took the file and sang and danced away. At the same time, Taki Ninja Village. Hearing the news brought by Chome, Feng was directly angry. Chome, you hurt me. Chome. Harm you. Inside the space sealed by Feng's body, Chome showed a confused expression. She was just planning to help the old man and tell Feng about the matter. If she doesn't want to, she can also refuse, because why do you say that she hurt her? Feng, if you don't want to help, it doesn't matter if you don't do anything. Chome's soft voice sounded. Chome is a beetle with 6 wings and 1 tail. It ranks 3rd in strength among the 9-tailed beasts, but its character has always been aloof from the world, and it can even be said to be a salted fish. After discovering that Feng is a hardworking girl, she admires and recognizes her very much, so she entrusts her with her own power. For helping Sage of Six Paths, she just repays the grace of giving life, but Feng doesn't need to bear this kindness. It's not a matter of helping or not, Feng said very speechlessly. She has a copy of the diary and can see what Yu Chen wrote in the diary. So she infers that there is a high probability that the Orway Jinchuriki by Wooden Golem also has a copy of the diary. What Chome said in that special space was heard by Orway Matabi, and if it was relayed to Wooden Golem, as long as you are not an idiot, you can definitely guess that she also has a copy of the diary in her hand. But she can maximize her benefits only if she doesn't reveal that she has a copy of the diary. Chomei planted a mine for her, and it will explode at some point. Can she not be speechless? That is to say, Feng didn't know that the group chat and diary could be broadcast live, let alone that he had been exposed to everyone who had a copy of the diary. Otherwise, she would definitely be even more speechless. Forget it. You should be more cautious in what you say in the future, and just don't say anything outside. Since it is impossible to disclose the existence of the copy of the diary to Chomei, Feng is also unable to clarify the topic, so he has to make some responsive instructions. Understood. We'll try to talk as little as possible in the future. Chomei cooperated. Then I'll go directly to Konoha now. Feng stretched out his hand and patted his cheek, and said, Taki Shinobi Village also sent Genin to take this Chunin exam, and the village also handed over to Konoha for diplomacy. Task. Since Chomei told you that you still know the information about Yu Chen, I will leave immediately. Okay. Use my strength to go on your way. Chomei said gently. Feng nodded. A pair of chakra wings condensed on his back, and he rose up slightly in the air, flying towards the southeast. On the other side, Yinkun. What did you say? With the unbelievable roar of third Tsuchikage, most of the village lights up. I don't know, I thought Cloud Shinobi Village sent an army of ninjas to attack the village. Uchiha Madara, resurrected. This news is said by Matabi, 9 Tails, and it is confirmed by 9 Tails. 6 Tails Jinchuriki Han repeated the news he had received from Kakuo. Uchiha Madara, Uchiha Madara. Madara has come back to life. And my lord let go of the past and wants to return to Konoha. It's been a long time to see you in a long time. With his hands behind his back, Onoki was suspended in midair and flew around. His old face was completely wrinkled, so gloomy that water could drip out. If only Senju Hashirama is resurrected, he thinks it is not a big problem, even if Senju Hashirama is stronger than Uchiha Madara, but because of the checks and balances of the major temples, and the in-law relationship with the Fire Country daimyo, and the Senju clan has disappeared. He may not do anything, but Uchiha Madara is different. He can abandon his family and leave Konoha, which shows his attitude towards his own family. If Uchiha Madara still holds the idea that the ninja world should be unified, Inmura will be very dangerous. Even if Uchiha Madara and Senju Hashirama join forces. First Hokage, second Hokage, Uchiha Madara. Tsunade Haim, Jiraiya, Mysterious Feather, Leaf. And the revived Uzumaki Kushina, Uchiha Mikoto, Jinchuriki who can control 9 Tails. Akatsuki Uzumaki Nagato, Konan, Deidara, Kakuzu, Hidan, Red Sand Scorpion, Dried Persimmon Kisame. The number of cage-level powerhouses here is more than that of other hidden villages combined, and many of them far exceed ordinary cage levels. With such a military force, if Konoha really wants to conquer the ninja world, can our Iwakage village resist it? Saying that, Onoki looked at Han who was on the side. Chinese. According to what Kakuo told him, he probably couldn't stop Uchiha Madara's eyes. If nothing else happens, Uchiha Madara alone can commandeer the entire Rock Shadow village. On the other side of the hidden sand village, the Red Sand Scorpion and Yi Kang cooperated, with a few Kakashi, horizontal push. On Kirigakure's side, it's okay to be weak now, I'm afraid it's better to target. Only Cloud Shinobi Village has developed well over the years, but Konoha is a strong water player. I think, why don't we hold a meeting of the 5 shadows? Han suddenly said. Oh. Do you have a good proposal? Surrender and lose half, what do you think? Onoki. It means to let Yanying Village surrender directly, but try to keep many benefits? Han. As elite Jonin, 5 Tails Jinchuriki of Yanying Village, don't you feel ashamed to suggest such a suggestion? Onogi roared. However, now the whole ninja world is not enough to beat Konoha. Wen said that he was just analyzing rationally. If you can't fight wisely, you still have to fight. Isn't this stupid? Don't talk about the tall hidden village will, it is used to fool the civilians and ninjas below. What everyone really values is profit. As long as it is profitable, nothing is a problem. HMPH, Yanying Village must not be thrown away from this old man. Onoki said that Han's idea is whimsical. You send a letter to Wangtu and ask him to confirm the news as much as possible. If Uchiha Madara is really resurrected, it means that Konoha does have the resurrection technology. Resurrection, their shadows can be revived, and our shadows can naturally grow. Of course, the 4 adults can join forces too. HMPH. In short, we can make false claims first and resurrect our ancestors. Onoki put forward his own idea. In short, reckless fighting is definitely not enough, because Konoha's current combat power is a dimensionality reduction blow to them. In other words, it is very difficult for them to even break a tooth of each other. Not to mention, the opponent's consciousness has the means of resurrection. Doesn't this mean that no matter how many people die, they can come back to life? But the people in these hidden villages are gone, but they are really gone. Therefore, his current thinking is to first determine the existence of resurrection technology. It's okay to pay the price to resurrect the ancestors, and the ancestors will decide what to do when the time comes. In short, Rock Village must not be buried in him. Understood. I'll contact Wangtu. Han nodded and left the Tsuchikage office building. When he was the only one left, Onogi's eyes trembled. Uchiha Madara is resurrected, playing with a hammer. Surrender and lose half? Good idea, but Konoha must be willing, and I can't come. This night, for many people, the initiative is a sleepless night. No, not just tonight. It should be said that every day that follows will be extremely tormenting for the high-level officials of the various hidden villages in the ninja world, the daimyos and nobles from all over the world. Just because after Uchiha Madara returned to Konoha, Sleepy Leaf issued an announcement to the ninja world immediately. The content of the announcement is very simple, that is, after the Chunin exam, the head of Ninja Village and the daimyo will be anxious for a meeting. That's right, it's not the 5 shadow meeting, but the summit meeting of all ninja villages plus the meeting of all national daimyos. For this invitation, no matter what everyone's expressions or moods are, the final answer is 2 words, throw. Just because it came with the invitation letter, there is also a list of Konoha cage-level ninjas. Senju Hashirama, Uchiha Madara, Senju Tobirama, Tsunade, Jiraiya, Uzumaki Kushina, Uchiha Makoto, Uzumaki Nagato, Red Sand Scorpion, Angle, Hidan, Deidara, Hakura, Konan, Uzumaki Naruto, Konoha's White Fang, Impure World Reincarnation, Akamichi Takakaze, Impure World Reincarnation, Uchiha Kagami, Impure World Reincarnation. Hidden are Kuruma Yakumo, Tenten, Number of 6 Paths Ninja Tools, Azuki Yuyan, Swordsmanship, Ying, Xian, even Gurren and a bunch of people from Impure World Reincarnation. Cage level, in the ninja world, it is a mobile nuclear bomb. Konoha has so many mobile nuclear bombs, which force and organization dare not give face. Especially they also produce nuclear bombs, resurrection. If you don't show face, you will die, so everyone, choose to cooperate. At the same time, the Yin family is also moving towards the law of resurrection. In such an atmosphere, a month passed in the blink of an eye. Boom. Near the land of waves, Yu Chen's frown flashed, and the powerful force of the Japanese stock spread. Around the island, countless sea waves converged under the influence of an invisible force, rising high, exceeding 100 meters, which is spectacular. There were ships passing by nearby, and they were all frightened and avoided it. Feather dust. On the island, Kurama Yakumo's eyes lit up, and they immediately gathered in front of the house in the middle of the island. Universal pull. The house turned into paper and flew away. A suction force came, sucking Makoto, Kukina, Kurama Yakumo and others into the paper. After holding back for so long, let's be together today. On an island near the land of waves. Under the action of strange attraction, the seawater turns into a sky. After sitting for a month, Zhao Yuchen already felt itchy, and couldn't wait to enter the 2-person sage mode practice state with Makoto and his children after the practice. On this isolated island today, Makoto, Kukina, Anko, Kurama Yakumo, Xian and Karen, and the little girl live. Others, such as Izuki Xian and Yuhi Hong, need to lead the team to perform tasks together. Ino and Hinata are in the 2 women's teams respectively, and they are in the Gai team every day. Ying follows the 1,000-hand Tobirama to practice. Tsunade and Shizune need to deal with things in the Hokage office. Samuel, Terumi Mei, Wooden Golem, Black Earth and Tamari are all envoys to the Land of Fire and cannot leave easily. Konoha. Gurren and Taiyu are also presiding over the construction of the World Government Building in Tanokuni, and Teru Yoruichi is staying on the moon. It can be said that everyone is very busy, but as long as women are free, they are always in Rei's ears. What? Why did you kick me out? Although I can't, it doesn't matter what to observe. On the island surrounded by waves, there is also a huge barrier made of seawater condensed under the action of gravity. Outside the barrier stood Uzumaki, Xian, and Konan, while the other 4 women, Makoto, were inside the barrier, playing indescribable music with Yu Chen. Watch. Konan turned his head to look at Xianglin, and said with a hint of speechlessness, "You are young. What are you thinking about all day long?" Because of his relationship with Uzumaki Nagato, Konan has a good impression of this little sister who also has fiery red hair. In the past nearly a month of getting along, he has quickly become a best friend who talks about everything. Although I'm still young, the ones that should develop have also begun to develop. Okay. Shang Linting raised her chest. Although she hasn't bowed her head to the point where she can't see her feet, she has indeed begun to take shape and can be called a little woman. In Sengoku's time, she was old enough to be a mother, but brother Yu Chen didn't attack Lolita, leaving her helpless. It's Sister Conan, you are obviously old enough, but you don't cherish it. Shang Lin cast a hateful look at Conan. She was not old enough, and Yu Chen held the idea of doing it before she develops well will affect her body, so she didn't make a move. But Conan's age can be said to be a lot, and she is Gao Lang Yuji, so she can't understand it before she makes a move. It is really the drought that dies from drought, and the flood that dies from waterlogging. Conan was speechless for a while. The group of women in the group eat their marrow and know the taste, and she can understand the feeling of falling in love with that kind of feeling. Girls have longings for love, and they will fantasize under the stimulation of hormones, and she can understand it. But Uzumaki is neither. Why is he showing his hungry side? She likes Yu Chen, so she has to do it, right? You don't really want to wait for Yahiko to come back to life, and give yourself to brother Yu Chen, do you? Shang Lin raised his eyebrows suddenly. How? Conan shook his head decisively. She has already made up her mind about Yu Chen, and she also believes that Yu Chen will be her man in the future, so she feels that she can exercise her girlfriend's rights and obligations in advance. But out of respect for the two former best friends, she wanted to wait for Yahiko to be resurrected, get the blessing of him and Uzumaki Nagato, and then complete the final step with Yu Chen. But recently, although Yu Chen was immobilized due to copying the Rinnegan pupil technique, he could distract himself from writing diaries and chatting with them every day. After getting along for a month, she felt that Yu Chen was really comfortable getting along with him. He is gentle, knowledgeable, insightful and above all respectful. He knows and supports some of his hobbies, but in some respects, he is very domineering and does not allow her to question. Before she knew it, she found that her heart was completely filled with Yu Chen's shadow. At this time, she suddenly realized how stupid and wrong her previous decision was. Friendship is friendship, love is love. Why should she confuse the two if they are not themselves intertwined? She wants to respect the friendship with Yahiko, but makes Yu Chen wait and guard herself. Although Yu Chen didn't say anything, it was because of his generosity, not because of his correct behavior. The relationship between her and Yu Chen is just between the two of them, and all she has to consider whether she is willing or happy is only because of the two of them. He said that it was because of Yahiko that he didn't complete that step with Yu Chen, but he didn't know that she thought she had thoughts about Yahiko. After figuring this out, she decided to hand herself over to Yu Chen to practice Sage Mode together. However, Yu Chen has just finished copying Rinnegan today, and she hasn't had a chance yet. Yu Chen said, "The first time is very meaningful, I don't want to be so hasty. Want to give me a special memory?" A smile appeared on the corner of Conan's mouth, and for a while, it bloomed like a snowplum, warming the winter. Rao Shanglin, as a woman, couldn't help being stunned, and it took a long time to recover. Sister Nan, you really don't. If I were brother Yu Chen, I would have to be tempted. Shang Lin is also very beautiful. When you grow up, you may also be able to charm a lot of men. TCH, I'm not interested in fascinating them or not, as long as brother Yu Chen likes me. Isn't that destined? You are his only little maid. He. Shang Lin narrowed his eyes and became intoxicated by himself. Conan was right, she was Yu Chen's only maid who had no one left. Others can't take it away, ahem. Ziyuan coughed lightly to indicate her existence. Why? Shang Lin curled her lips and said, you are just brother Yu Chen's secretary, and you are also the secretary of Konoha, you can't compare with me. For this girl who stole her, Hinata, Shanglin has a lot of hostility. Unless, Xian is also as cute as Hinata. Fenmi, Ziyuan's mouth twitched slightly. Shanglin's words are true. Yu Chen also has two secretaries, Guren and Tiyuya, in Tianzhiguo. Moreover, they are already at the level of doing things for Yu Chen if they have something to do, and doing things for Yu Chen if they have nothing to do. Unlike her, she is the secretary of Yu Chen in name, but she has nothing to do in Konoha village. The name does not match her name. The main reason is that she is not old enough to do some things. When I think about it this way, I feel a little angry. Hey. Ziyuan suddenly thought of Hinata's words that day, and said with a smile, how can there be a little maid? Master Yu Chen is not willing to go to jail for you. Huh. Shang Lin blinked suspiciously, wondering what nonsense this woman was talking about. In this world, who would let brother Chen go to prison? Unless it's like Kagaya-ji, but how many people can do it? And as long as there is no problem with the brain, who would want to prove love in this way? It seems that you don't understand. Ziyuan smiled slightly, and added, 3 years, the maximum penalty is death. Started in 3 years, the highest. Xianglin's eyes widened and he finally moved. It means let Yu Chen push him now. This is indeed extremely difficult. But, how did you come up with such a statement? Xianglin looked at Zi Yuan in amazement. Let Yu Chen prove that he loves them, and risking going to jail, right now, it's a clever way of saying it. Conan also cast admiring gazes at Ziyuan, thinking that if she hugged her like this, maybe there would be Yu Chen's child in her belly. Cough. Ziyuan coughed lightly, and said flatly, Hinata said that. Nani, Xianglin and Conan were really shocked. Hinata, who is shy and weak, can still say such wild words. Aren't you trying to discredit Hinata? Xianglin exclaimed. I have no grievances with Hinata, what are you doing to discredit her? So you're looking for someone to take the blame? Then I should look for Ino, or Black Soil. Ino is more wild, like a woman who can say such things. Haitu is relatively naive, and often speaks surprisingly and can understand. That's what Hinata said, right, phosphorus. My Hinata sauce has gone bad. Fragrant phosphorus. Woo woo woo, cry provoking. Ino. Why, brother Yu Chen didn't take you with him when he had sex. Flavor phosphorus. Conan. Kushina, Makoto, Karama Yukumo, Anko. Azuki Shion. Is this what was said? Yu Rihong. Tisk tisk tisk. I guessed it when I saw Mr. Yu Chen wrote in his diary that the retreat was over. Tsunade. Hey, pay attention to what you say, there are many underage people in this group. Terumi Mei. Yes, there are still many old sisters who are not married. Yi Kang. Tsunade. Terumi Mei. I say myself, ha. Fragrant phosphorus. Underage? Underage is much stronger than you stinky sisters, right, Hinata-chan. Female. Ino. Hinata sauce. What happened to Hinata sauce? Black Soil. Xianglin, I know you are very obsessed with Yu Chen Jun, but Hinata sauce is different from you, no, from us. Yu Rihong. Don't talk nonsense, Hinata is very good. Azuki Shion. Has anyone started spreading rumors about Hinata these days? Hinata. She had a bad feeling in her heart. I always feel that Xianglin will explode something that surprises him. Xianglin. Ah, don't be so excited, okay. Hinata-chan is so cute, who would be willing to hurt her? Fragrant phosphorus. But even the lovely Hinata-chan, the affection for brother Yu Chen is not comparable to you. Samui. How do you say this? Xianglin. You don't even want to do it for me, even going to jail. What qualifications do you have to say you love me? Te. All the way along the tree-lined path, Hinata's cheeks began to turn red at a speed visible to the naked eye, and a long-lost steam rose from the top of his head. If an egg was thrown on her face now, it would be boiled in an instant. Seeing this scene, Rihong showed a confused expression. Hinata? Is there anything special about Xianglin? Black Soil. Are you afraid that you have a serious illness, and use this to test your true love? Smart face. Good first. Hinata thought of the name of Black Earth a few times in his heart. Yi Kang. It's outrageous. How can you measure love by going to jail these days? The second. Tsunade. Kukina, take good care of your niece, it's outrageous, okay, ha 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 ha. The third. Ju Zuna, female. Hey, are you sure you're responding to Tsunade? Makoto. Kukina, you were actually distracted, great. Ju Zuna, no, why do I have to bear the main attack? Karama Yukumo, obviously, my husband regards this as your provocation to him. Anko. Sisters, don't look for me, I've already run out of output just now. Karama Yukumo. I am still injured, my husband will not treat me too much. Ju Zuna, well, look at my 18 styles. Female. Aren't you afraid that the group chat will be blocked? Oh, the group chat is from the diary, and the owner of the diary is Yu Chen, so it's okay. Tamari. There is no need to go to jail to prove true love. Don't make such jokes in the future. Very good, the fourth. No, plus Xianglin, the culprit, and Shion who sent the news. For these 6 women, she definitely wanted to show them some color. Hinata's cute little white eyes flashed black air. Fragrant phosphorus. I didn't say this, it was Hinata-chan. By wooden golem, impossible, absolutely impossible, you told me that Matabi is a man, it is not so outrageous. Ino. Oh, you spread rumors and chose me. If you choose Hinata-chan, will anyone believe it? Shizune. Xianglin, what you said is true. Black Soil. Even if I break, it is impossible for Hinata to say such a thing. By wooden golem. Impossible, absolutely impossible. Matabi. What wooden golem said is right. Scented phosphorus, Hinata sauce? Hinata. Hinata. It is indeed what I said. How could Hinata-chan say such unreasonable words? Tsunade. This is even more outrageous than my great uncle accepting Uchiha Madara's confession. Temari. Your analogy is simply Yi Kang, but I can't understand it. Karama Yukumo. Hinata-chan. How could you say such a thing? Hinata. Hinata. My original words. Referring to brother Yu Chen attacking me right now. What do you mean? Why didn't they understand? What's the relationship between Yu Chen's attack on Hinata and going to jail to prove that he loves himself? To be honest, Hinata is a minor now, how could Yu Chen attack her? Wait a minute, Hinata is underage, if Yu Chen makes a move. Sam Yi. Starting in 3 years, the death penalty is the highest? Hinata. This is the default. Hiss. Any woman who can understand is gasped. It's true that people can't be judged by appearances, Hinata would say such ruthless words. Black soil. What do you mean? Matabi. I don't understand. Tien. I don't seem to. Wait, no way. Is the eldest daughter of the Hyuga family so wild? Shi Rihong. Yu Chen once jokingly wrote in his diary that it takes 3 years to start shooting minors, and the death penalty is the highest. In the ninja world, although there is a saying that one becomes an adult at the age of 16, except for drinking, one can do other things, including marrying and having children. In some big families, many of them got married and had children at the age of 13. Yu Chen refuses to do anything to minors, the so-called punishment in the previous life is just for fun. The real reason was that the 13-year-old girl hadn't developed well at all, and he was from the perspective of caring for the girl. That's why they liked this man so much. After all, in this world that does not need to abide by certain rules, he obeys the rules because of his love for them. This kind of restraint is a very high degree of love. Tien. So, what Hinata means is to let brother Yu Chen take action against him. Zi Yuan. I'm sorry, Hinata-chan, I didn't mean to say this, it was because I was arguing with you. Hinata. You might as well stop saying that. Isn't this a complete hammer? Hinata. Brother Yu Chen doesn't dare to leave it alone, I'll just say it casually, sisters don't care. Hinata generously admits. The girls didn't know what to say for a while. Kagaya. Facts have proved that there is no need to pay attention to anyone's age in this group, and you can talk about everything. Makoto. You can talk about everything, do you need me to take screenshots for you to see? Women. Ju Zuna. Hey, you don't have to be so mad, do you? Makoto. Picture. All the girls clicked on it as fast as they could in their lives, and saved it without even reading it. The picture was taken from a long angle, and it was the picture of Yu Chen and Masamuro Nai practicing. However, some key parts were not photographed, only the close-up of Kukina's expression, which aroused people's imagination. Tsunade. Do you think I can't afford the upfront money? By Wooden Golem, curious, give more pictures. Sam Yi. With Yu Chen's figure, I'll leave for 5 minutes. Tay. It's just abs, don't make it so imaginative, okay? If you put it in a novel, you will be banned if you are misunderstood. Terumi Mei. What a nice man. Conan. You can touch it right away. Hey guys, is this all starting to roll? Kashina. Makoto, that's too much. Makoto. And, unless Yu Chen likes it, how can I do the secret filming? Just let everyone see your expression and let them know that this is something to enjoy. Do we look so idiot? Fragrant Phosphorus, sister, how long will it take for you to finish? Makoto. According to Yu Chen's combat power, it will take at least an hour. Temari. At Tsunade. Is this normal? Tsunade, it may not be normal to put it on someone else, but Yu Chen is definitely normal. Without this combat power, he would not have the confidence to open the harem. Makoto. Extra ideas, as a pro-tester, I really mean. Female. Why did you stop in the middle of your sentence? Ju Xingna. Take a screenshot because Makoto was too distracted, and was pulled by Yu Chen to practice Sage Mode. Yuhihong. Tempting people, I decided to take Hinata and the others to finish the mission, and then I will recruit Yu Chen. Our mission is to send it to the land of waves. Azuki Shion. Damn, if I knew it earlier, I wouldn't have given this task to Kakashi and his team. Shizune. In this case, it seems that the Kakashi team received the mission of the land of waves first, and you insisted on grabbing it, and finally it became a joint mission, right? Azuki Shion. This task will definitely affect Shankado, maybe it will affect Jonin. It can be regarded as a B-level task, and joint tasks are no problem. Tsunade. But Kazna can't pay for the task. Azuki Shion. However, if the bridge is built well, it will also benefit the land of fire and the land of waves, especially the land of fields. Tsunade. Tisk, I am dignified Hokage, what do you consider for the world government? Yo, Tsunere. Ju Xingna. I originally wanted to tell Mr. Yuchen all this, but since Sister Tsunade doesn't care, then forget it. Tsunade. Cough, Kukina, didn't my sister tell you, don't play around? Shizune. Master Tsunade, this is not how you use it. Tsunade. Huh? Shizune. Sister Juzuna, please don't make changes overnight. The girls couldn't help laughing out loud. Shizune is talking nonsense on purpose. Anko. Don't worry, when the matter is over, I will tell you what Mr. Tsunade has done. Tsunade. Do I need this? Terumi Mei. So is it necessary? Conan. Just say it if you don't need it, we don't need to say it. Tsunade. What I want to express is, you guys are doing a good job. Cut. The girls laughed and shook their heads. This Tsunade girl Tsunade has fallen after all. Time blinked to nearly 2 hours later. Juzuna, Sister Tsunade, we have already talked about your contribution. Tsunade. No, it's been almost 2 hours, you just remembered to say it? Makoto. Do you think there is a possibility that we have the opportunity to talk about now? By Wooden Golem. No way, is Yuchen a livestock? How can I bear this in the future? Women. What does it have to do with you? By Wooden Golem. It's ridiculous, how could it have nothing to do with me? I am not pretending. I am showing my cards, I like Yuchen now, and I am going to be with him, no one can stop me. For the girls, they still know Zhao Yuchen's psychological activities through the diary every day, so they have never forgotten him. But for Wooden Golem, under the continuous influence of Matabi Chakra, liking feather dust has been integrated into the body and become an instinct. Originally, she had been restraining herself, fighting against this instinct. But now, she chooses to lie flat and enjoy. Samui. No matter why you said it, you suddenly figured it out, but you have to be behind me. By Wooden Golem. Why? Mr. Yuchen has the final say on this matter, or we each rely on our own abilities. Because Wooden Golem doesn't want Gong Do, but now she really needs Yuchen's antidote. She will be impatient with whoever robs her, cats should be impatient. Sam Yi. Each depends on his ability. If so, I am not afraid of you, I can bow my head and see my feet. Tsunade. Don't quarrel with these meaningless things, at Kushina, so you just end it now? Ju Xingna. Well, Mr. Yuchen has been holding back for a long time, it's normal for a longer time. Conan. The grilled meat and grilled fish we prepared in advance have been reheated several times. Fragrant phosphorus. Woo, brother Yuchen, why doesn't he want me to go to jail? Hinata. Yu Rihong. Stop molesting Hinata, the atmosphere on our side is not right, it feels like there will be a big war. Azuki Shion. Oh? Kodamin knew that Konoha had accepted the task of protecting Kazuna, so he actually sent someone to take action? Tsunade. Interesting, I don't know what wild ninja proved bold. Tsunade. At Kushina, speaking of it, how did Yu Chen behave after hearing about my approach? Juzuna. See for yourself. Snapshot. All the girls clicked into the picture together. I saw a photo of Yu Chen's upper body, his body lines are very good, especially the 8-pack abs that make people think about it. But this time, all the women's attention was on the expression on Yu Chen's face. His somewhat bewildered expression with a sigh was very strange. Tsunade. Hey, what does this mean? Don't you think I can do this kind of thing for him? Shizune. This kind of thing that kills 3 birds with 1 stone and only harms Kado's interests, Master Tsunade does not have any pressure at all. With Yu Chen's wit, it shouldn't be unexpected, right? Terumi Mei. Ji Tsunade, it is conceivable how bad your impression of Yu Chen is. Samui. Tisk, it's interesting, this face also makes me confused. Zayuan. Something unexpected. Uyue Xian. I'm even more curious about what that embarrassment means. Kyuko Nai. Do you think the dignified Tsunade princess has fallen too? Tsunade. Get out, how can my image be so bad? Anko. To be honest, I think Mr. Yu Chen's expression has nothing to do with Sister Tsunade. Black Soil. How is it possible? Tamari. Is there anything else worth thinking about this matter? Tsunade. Kukina. How did you tell Yu Chen-kun? Kusakina. I told him that Kazuna, the shipbuilder of the Land of Waves, wanted to build a bridge connecting the Land of Waves and the Land of Fire. The old monkey paid special attention when he was still in power. With support from behind, Kado successfully arrived at Konoha to release the mission. Ju Xingna. Since Kazuna has no money, he obviously needs to issue B-level escort missions or even A-level protection missions, but he can only issue C-level protection missions. Kyuko Nai, however, considering that the opening of the bridge will greatly promote the trade of the Land of Waves, the Land of Fire, and the Land of Tanaka, Sister Tsunade decided to make a loss-making business, and specially arranged for the Kakashi team and the Yuhihong team. Protecting Kazna together is now on the way to the land of waves. Kusakina. That's it. What's the problem? Hearing this, all the girls carefully watched the passages over and over again, but shook their heads in denial. There was nothing wrong with what Ju Xingna said, and they couldn't figure out what Yu Chen's expression meant. At this moment, the girls discovered that there was movement in Yu Chen's diary. The retreat is over, and I have successfully absorbed the pupil technique in Rinnegan. Now I can use the supporting ninjutsu of Rinnegan through the Sky Eye, including the natural technique, planetary devastation, Tengai Shinsei and so on. As I previously guessed, because some of Rinnegan's abilities are the same as Tensegan's, that is, they have homonymous genetic codes, so the evolution of Tensegan is accelerated, and it is estimated that the evolution can be completed in a month. So many happy things happened, I naturally needed to celebrate, so I had something beneficial to my physical and mental health with my 4 wives, Kukina, Makoto, Anko, and Yakumo. Bah! The women who understood or knew the inside story spat in their hearts. Good for physical and mental health. It is not suitable for children. I have to say that I haven't practiced with me for a month, and some of the skills of the 4 wives are unfamiliar. 1 hits 4, it's not my limit at all, the master is lonely. Bah, lustful and lustful, but also master lonely. Women have an advantage in this regard, and there will be times when you beg for mercy in the future. However, after the exercise ended, I heard a piece of news that made me laugh. Oh hoo, the main event is coming. However, why is this news so ridiculous? Tsunade. I was wrong for him abusing Hokage's power? Samui. No, I also feel that this matter has nothing to do with you. Azuki Shion. I feel the same way, probably related to other reasons, such as drama. The eyes of the girls became serious. Next, spoilers may be involved. It has to be said that the girls now have experience. Just as they guessed, Yu Chen's emotion was because of the plot. I remember that in the original book, there is also this plot. The old monkey is playing tricks behind his back, so that Kazna can safely go to Konoha to issue missions. Everything is to ensure that the bridge from the land of waves to the land of fire can be opened. Facilitates the trade between the 2 countries, and also brings benefits to Konoha. Upgraded. Because Kazna has no money, most of the citizens of the Kingdom of Waves have no money under the pressure of Kaduo, so they can only issue sea-level escort missions, but the actual degree of danger depends on how much Kaduo is willing to spend to invite people to come carry out the assassination. The old monkey knew this situation, but still deliberately asked Kakashi to take Naruto, Sasuke and little Sakura to perform this task, according to the standard of sea-level tasks. And in this process, Kakashi and others met Kirigakure Renren, one of the current 7 ninja swordsmen, the holder of the beheading sword, Momochi no Cut. No more cuts. Inside the Konoha Inn, Terumi Mei stood up from the sofa, her green eyes glowing strangely. Before the blood mist policy, Kirigakure pursued a relatively cold-blooded assessment system. In many cases, students who graduated from the same ninja school will be asked to kill each other, and finally take a part as the official genin. The 7 ninja swords belong to a title that can be inherited in Kirigakure. If you want to inherit this title and have a ninja knife suitable for your own ninjutsu, you must first be an elite jonin. That is to say, instead of being called the 7 ninja swords and having the strength of a jonin, it is only after becoming a jonin that you are eligible to participate in the assessment to become the 7 ninja swordsmen and have a ninja sword. If the 7 ninja swordsmen fight together, they can capture a small country overnight. There are 7 ninja swordsmen, each of whom has the strength of an elite jonin, and is one of the few backbones in a village. No accident, jumping to the ground and then not cutting must be killed by the protagonist Uzumaki Naruto. This is the talent of our Kirigakure, I have to find a way to save him. He was a poor man, too. Terumi Mei rested her chin in her hand and thought. At this time, Yu Chen's diary was updated again. But seeing the above content, all the girls showed expressions of disbelief. How can it be? The Wave Country mission is the first time that the 7th squad led by Kakashi has performed a mission out of the village. Due to the particularity of Jinchuriki, the 3 of them have been engaged in D-level tasks since they officially became genin, such as looking for pets, cleaning rivers, etc. Naruto has always complained, and Sarutobi Hiruzen is also very arguing with Danzo and several Hokage assistants. Only then did Kakashi succeed in leading people out of the village. After all, Kakashi's strength can be assigned to the entire ninja world. A few days after Kakashi took Naruto and the others to set off, they first met 2 Chunin rebel ninja brothers from Kirigakure. Due to lack of actual combat experience, Naruto was intimidated by the 2 Chunins and poisoned his hands, but Sasuke and Sakura remained calm. Kakashi thought that the difficulty of this mission was over, and the 3 of them brought Naruto to see the blood, and they had achieved the goal, so they relaxed later. As a result, Kirigakure ran into Renren head-on, and Momochi never cut it. Momochi no longer cut has also ushered in the brightest moment of life, one-handed control of the future 6th Hokage, Brother Sakura, who is forced by a water body, can only watch from one side, let the future 7th Hokage and the new ninja Shura in the darkness of Konoha dangerous. This performance, this method, is better than Kaguya's performance in the future. Otsutsuki Momoshiki called the expert directly, because he was also played in mixed doubles by Naruto, Tusk. Seeing the above content, the expressions of the girls became very exciting. Every piece of information that Yu Chen revealed surprised them. What Sarutobi Hiruzen is wrangling about, what is important to Kakashi's strength to let go, and Kirigakure Chunin to attack, these details are all understandable and conceivable things. However, the performance of Tauti not cutting back is true and can be used to describe it. Not to mention other things, it is not easy to control Hitaki Kakashi with one hand, and to separate the news of water molecules to hit Naruto. Samui. Kakashi is 12-year-old Jonin, a copy ninja famous in the ninja world, who was controlled by Momochi with one hand. Why does it sound a bit unreal? Tamari. But it is impossible for Mr. Yu Chen to lie to himself in the diary. The tone he used is also a serious statement. Oh, the following examples are not counted. Ming Zuo mixed doubles, plus Sakura brother and Hitaki Kakashi, her opponent is indeed highly overlapped with Momochi Zabuzan. And if Tauti doesn't cut it again, it will be dangerous to force all four of them. Her words. No matter what the process was, they were still sealed in the end. Co-authored, she, the ancestor of Chakra, the woman who controls everything behind the number one old ninja in the ninja world, is actually in the same position as this Momochi no more cut. Ino's saying is very correct. This Kishimoto will definitely not be able to draw manga, and he can't even tell the primary from the secondary. Yi Kang. So, this Peachland is very strong. I have heard of it, but I have never fought. Hakura's hostility towards Kirigakure, that's not covered. Conan. Control Kakashi with one hand, doppelganger Sakura brother, teach Naruto a lesson. This kind of demeanor is comparable to Kagayaji, can it be worse? Women. Good guy. Let you read the book written by Yu Chen. Didn't let you learn how to read the text, right? You make it look like you are very cultured, and we are very aware of it. As a woman of Yu Chen, can she be swept up like this? The girls complained in their hearts for a while, but their movements were not slow, and they copied Conan's words one after another. If you have time, study carefully, maybe the next time you speak, you will be able to reveal a unique style. Conan. This Momochi no more cut should be really powerful. Kirigakure's S-level rebellious ninja. Pain originally wanted to recruit him into Akatsuki's organization, but because of his uncertain whereabouts, plus the obstacles of Kisame and Uchiha Obito, there was no action. By Wooden Golem, interesting, made me want to play it. Sam Yi. Calm down, we at Terumi Mei, don't we have ready-made sources of information? Yu Rihong. Yes, Ming, how about this unstoppable strength, and what methods are there? If Mist Shinobi is rebellious, don't you mind us targeting it? Terumi Mei. Terumi Mei. I woke up and rushed over. If you meet him, you should not kill him while ensuring your own safety. Yukura. What do you mean? This is an S-rank traitorous ninja, you still want to bring back Kirigakure? Shizune. I didn't say that the world is about to be unified, so you are not obsessed with strengthening Kirigakure's strength, are you? Terumi Mei. Of course, things are not that simple. Let me tell you about this peachy land first. Terumi Mei. You know a little bit about our Kirigakure situation. This Zabuzan is a student who is 3 years younger than me. When he was young, he killed the ninja with his own strength during our Kirigakure cannibalism ninja graduation exam. All current students. Fragrant phosphorus. One's own power, all. Ino. Horrible, these are all classmates. Zion. I have heard of the horror of Mist Shinobi in the Kingdom of Ghosts, but I didn't expect it to be so scary. Hinata. We will encounter such an enemy later? Tamari. This is killing your companions. If you don't kill them, you still want to bring Kirigakure back, and save them for the Chinese New Year? Black soil. This is even worse than senior brother Deidara. At most, the senior brother wanted to blow up the village every day, but he ran away from home because he couldn't bear the lesson of his grandfather. No, are you serious about this analogy? Maybe killing people sounds scary, but who can afford to blow up a village every day? Yu Yanying village is poor, it can't be because of such lunatics. Yi Kang. Tisk, regarding Zabuzan's actions and strength, Shizune, Anko, Tsunade and others who are not weak have actually heard a thing or two. After all, this incident shocked the entire ninja world at the beginning. That is, Hinata and the others, newcomers and young people, have never heard of it. Terumi Mei. Terumi Mei. If you follow the will of Konoha, Sand Shinobi and other propaganda, it is an unforgivable crime not to kill Taudi, after all, killing your companions. Tsunade. I suspect you are implicating us. The methods Sarutobi Hiruzen and Shimura Danzo used to cheat their own people were bloodless. Calling your companions on your lips, and stabbing a knife in your back, it's not as comfortable as everyone doing it with real swords and guns. Anko. Compared with Orochimaru, it's actually not bad? Orochimaru used orphans from the same village as human experiments. These orphans may be descendants of heroic ninjas who gave their lives for the village. Tamari. Sister Hakura, I'm sorry. Let us not talk about Sanagakure here. Yi Kang was directly betrayed by the same village's senior management to Yuanyan village and killed. Yi Kang. So, you can say hello on the internet. Samui. Calm down, don't laugh. By Wooden Golem. Luckily we won't have such a thing in Cloud Shinobi village. Black Soil. Huh. Did you two forget why second Hokage and second Raikage died? Samui and by Wooden Golem. Good guy, Golden Horn and Silver Horn directly staged an armed coup. At that time, I didn't know how many people from the same village were stained with blood from the same village. Second Raikage was directly killed. If second Hokage Senju Tobirama wasn't strong enough, he wouldn't be able to die together with the Golden and Silver Horns with 6 paths ninja tools. It hurts, black man. Terumi Mei. Cough cough cough, everyone, Danti argue, I really Danti mean you, terribly. She's out of her mind. What's the meaning? It's just that behind these villages, there is indeed darkness. Terumi Mei. In a word, our Kirigakure system is like this. Zabuza is doing these things within the rules. If there is a mistake, it is also a mistake in our Zunian village system. Terumi Mei. And because of Zabuzan's deeds, our Kirigakure even changed this bloody rule. From the point of view of influence and results, he still has credit for Kirigakure. Amount. The women said that they couldn't empathize with each other. After all, what is it like to kill each other? But if this is the case in the village, Terumi Mei is indeed right. Terumi Mei. After becoming an adult, I will become a member of our Mist Shinobi Anbu. He is an excellent master of silent assassination. After the death of Loquat Ten Kang, the 7 ninja swordsmen of the previous generation, he took away his beheading sword. Became a member of the second batch of Ninja Sword 7. Terumi Mei. Originally, Kirigakure might want to get better, but you all know it now. Later, when 4th Mizukage was in power, Uchiha Obito used illusion to control us, which made our Kirigakure become dark, and even called Shueishajizato. Terumi Mei. The 7 ninja swordsmen who originally performed difficult tasks for Mizukage ran away one after another because they were dissatisfied with the tyranny of the village. The same is true for Kisame and Zabuzan. Terumi Mei. I was wanted again. I really wanted to assassinate 4th Mizukage Yagura in order to stop the situation in the Blood Mist, but after failing in the end, I had to escape from the village and become a traitor. Terumi Mei. So, for this village and true companions, he is actually trustworthy. Seeing this, the girls somewhat understood Terumi Mei's thoughts. From Kirigakure's point of view, knowing that the Blood Mist policy is the result of Uchiha Obito, and Momochi who rebelled against it for this is indeed no problem, but trustworthy. Yu Rihong. I understand. If I see him, I will first tell him that you want to meet him for a chat. If he doesn't cooperate, I will make a move. Yu Hihong. But as a ninja and a teacher, I must give priority to the safety of my students, can you accept this? Terumi Mei. Of course, everything is carried out under the condition that you can guarantee safety. Terumi Mei is not so ignorant. The reason why I said that is because I am not ashamed of the village anymore. But if she didn't behead herself to die, she would have nothing to say. But the next moment, seeing Yu Chen's updated content, the corner of her mouth twitched. Not only her, but all the girls are exposed. What the hell are we worrying about?